Isa pong maganda kahit maulang araw po dito sa UP Los Baños. I'm RJ Galang from Radyo DZLB, ang tinig ng kaunlaran of the UPLB College of Development Communication, and I will be your moderator for today's event. To our dear UPLB administrators, faculty, reps, admin staff, alumni, and industry partners, welcome to the UPLB Alumni-Industry Summit Webinar Series 2021. Today is the last installment of our webinar series, a prelude for the most awaited UPLB Alumni-Industry Summit that will happen tomorrow, Saturday, November 6 at 9 a.m. Manila time. So aside of gathering here via Zoom, we are also in FB Live at the UPLB Office of Alumni Relations Facebook page. So mag-follow po tayo dyan. And our virtual event today is actually a continuation of our webinar last week, on what UPLB can offer. So before we start, some reminders for our participants via Zoom and FB Live. So please keep your comments respectful. Yan po ating reminder. Your comments respectful and constructive to the webinar speakers and organizers. Number 2, only relevant questions in the Q&A box, not in the chat box. So sa mga nasa Zoom, meron po tayong Zoom chat dyan at meron pong Q&A box. So for your questions later, after mag-present ng ating mga panelists, dun po kayo sa Q&A box magpapadala ng inyong mga katanungan. And yun lang pong ating i-entertain. And kindly answer the evaluation form. The link will be provided later to secure your e-certificate. So yan po yung ating mga ilang paalala bago po tayo magsimula sa atin pong webinar today. So to start off, let's hear the back-to-back messages from the key people behind our event today. Let's start off with a message from the overall chair of the UPLB Alumni-Industry Summit. Let's welcome Dr. Cristino M. Collado. Okay, so siguro dahil po maulan dito po sa UPLB, medyo nagkaka-problem tayo sa ating internet connection. So we just like first to welcome our participants here via Zoom and via FB Live. Pwede ba akong magpa-attendance check? Kasi syempre ang hirap ng walang kausap, no? Pag tayo nasa online gatherings, pwede bang mag-type ng present? Yung mga nasa Zoom dyan sa ating Zoom chat, please type present para ma-recognize po kayo. Gayun din po yung sa mga nakatutok sa atin sa FB Live. Present na raw po dito si Doc Rina Tandeluna. Naku, abangan niyo po yung programa niya sa DZLB every Wednesday, ang programang PAC para sa agrikultura at kalikasan. Every Wednesday 6 p.m. sa Radyo DZLB. Present na rin po ang mga ilang kasamahan natin like si Ma'am Rose Lapitan, present na raw po siya. Si Sir Romnick Baliton ay nakatutok din po sa ating webinar today. We have also Ma'am Annalyn Codilan, hello po sa inyo from Cfnr. Si Renee Lorica ay present din. Si Sharon Del Paras, ayan, present din po. Nagpa-attendance check na rin po si Sir Nelson Pampolina. Edita Abrigo, kapi-kapi po muna tayo as we wait for our mga mag-opening remarks for our webinars here. Si Sir Ramon Razal, Doc Razal, welcome po sa ating webinar. Si Wilfredo Carandang ay kasama rin po natin ngayong araw to. Check din ako sa Facebook Live. We have si Ma'am Eileen, Ma'am Ameline ay nandito rin po at uma-attend po sa atin, si Faculty Regent. Si Sir Rory de los Reyes ay present din po. Si Viera Mary Cruz ay kasama rin po natin ngayon. We are more than 50 plus na rin po dito sa ating Zoom. So binabati rin po natin si Eileen Hara, nakasama natin. Si Renz Kevin Ilagan, present din po ngayon po sa ating webinar series. Okay, so habang inaayos po natin ang connection dyan po sa ating mga kasamahan sa Office of the sa OC, tama ba ako? Ayan, so in-invite din po namin kayo to follow and like yung page po ng ating Office of Alumni Relations para po maging updated tayo sa mga latest events and gatherings po na hinahanda po ng OAR. Of course, our official social media accounts ng UPLB. Present din po si Ma'am Violeta Villegas mula po sa IPB at isa pong alumna natin dito po sa Pamantasan. Okay, so habang hinihintay pa po natin ulit, as we wait for the message of Sir Resi, I'm also inviting everyone mamaya kung may time pa po kayo after our webinar series around 3 p.m. sa Facebook page ng Radyo DZLV, we have our program Galing UPLB. Kasama natin dyan, syempre, ang Office of Public Relations, ang Office of Alumni Relations, and the Office of the Vice Chancellor for Research and Extension, no? Kung saan ay pinapakita natin yung husay, puso at galing at talino ng mga scholar para sa bayan. Si Ma'am Maria Victoria Jimenez ay kasama na rin po natin mula sa OCG OVC SA. Okay, meron din po nagpapa-attendance check mula po sa ating Facebook Live. Kasama na rin po natin si Ma'am Merly Kasupang, dito, Lavides Santander. Good morning daw po from DOST FPRDI and UPLB Cfnr AA Board of Trustees. Tulad po na nabanggit ko kanina, this will be the last installment of our webinar series before we go on sa ating pinaka-culminating event, yung ating talagang summit that will happen tomorrow, November 6, 9 a.m. until afternoon po yun. So please, if you have time, no, please po, make sure na tayo po ay maka-attend po, no, para sa ating summit. O tanong ni Doc Razal, kung open na raw ba ang UPLB campus para sa gala? Namiss na po ba ang campus natin? I think open na ata during hindi ako nagkakamali, no, baka masabihan ako, weekends ata, no, open na yung ating campus para sa mga gustong mag-jogging dyan or mag-bike. We will check, no? Check ko rin po yung ating, may nilabas na pong memo ang ating Office of the Chancellor regarding sa pag-open ng ating campus. Ayan, sagot ni Doc Rina, open na raw every weekends and holidays ang ating campus. Sa mga mahilig mag-jogging at mag-bike dito po sa ating campus, open na po siya para sa ating mga nais bumisita muli sa ating pong pamantasan. Ayan. So habang hinihintay pa po natin ang ating pong mga mag-opening remarks, no, we would like to acknowledge all our UPLB administrators na kasama po natin ngayon, and yung ating mga UPLB faculty, reps, admin staff, and syempre yung ating dearest alumni. Napaka-successful po ng ating 103rd Loyalty Day and Alumni Homecoming. Present po ba kayo noon sa mga naganap ng ating pong gathering ng mga alumni? Na despite it's a second Loyalty Day and Alumni Homecoming na hindi tayo nagkasama-sama in person or physically, ramdam pa rin po natin yung Los Baños spirit, talagang yung camaraderie ng ating pong mga alumni across generations na po, mga batches and classes ay talagang alive and awake and enthusiastic po para syempre sa ating pong pamantasan. So let's check siguro, nandiyan na po ba si Sir Resty Collado? Check lang po natin kung present na po sila. So i-remind ko lang po kayo what will happen today. We have actually 3 panelists that will going to share something about their experiences, their insights, and their expertise later po, no? At even yung mga units and colleges kung saan po sila ay affiliated with. And ang topic nga po natin ngayon, it's actually part 2. Ang topic is what UPLB can offer. So napakaganda po nito kasi syempre yung ating mga researches, yung ating mga extension and public service initiatives ay ginagawa natin first and foremost, di ba, para sa bayan. We serve the people and we would like to really magamit itong mga bagay na ito in advancing yung nation building and syempre para ma-improve ang buhay po ng ating mga kababayan. And hindi po ito magagawa lamang ng academe. That's why this summit aimed, no, to really unite us, the academe, our dearest alumni, and syempre ating mga industry partners para po mas makapag-produce po tayo ng mga bagay na makatutulong po sa ating mga kababayan. Okay, sige, basa lang po ako ng mga ilang pagbati pa mula po kay Ma'am Tessie Merestela. Good morning po sa ating lahat. I hope na ready po ang inyong mga kape-kape because tayo po ay uma-attend hindi lamang dito sa ating campus. Siguro share nyo, taga saan po ba ang ating mga attendees ngayon? Pwede mo pakitype sa ating comment section sa Facebook, maging po sa ating Zoom chat. Saan po ba kayo ngayon? Dahil tayo ay napapanood hindi lamang dito sa ating campus, pero tayo ay naka-broadcast live. So anywhere in the world can attend our webinar today. So good morning daw from Ma'am Marian Dagunan. Good morning, present daw po siya mula pa sa Cabancalan City, Negros Occidental. Meron bang mas malayo dyan sa ating mga participants? Ayan, tulad na lang po ng mga iba pang bumabati. Ayan, si Sir Romnick Baliton ay bumabati po live na live mula naman po sa Tiaong, Quezon Province. Wow, from tawid tayo from Negros to Quezon Province. Ayan, meron pa po bang habol na babati naman sa iba pang lugar? So maganda rin in a way that we are really connected kahit hindi po tayo nagkakasama in person. Mas na-open itong platform to really unite us, the Academe, UPLB, the UPLB community para magsama-sama. Okay, so ayan, meron tayong comment dito, message from RCE, ay umaattend po ng ating webinar series saan po? Mula pa po sa Ontario, Canada. Ayan, Ontario, Canada. So from Negros, tumawid ng Tiaong at lumipad patungong Ontario, Canada. Si Ma'am Ellen Racelis ay bumabati mula po sa Trees, diyan po sa UPLB Cfnr. Ayun po pala yung name niya, Rinji Escarayan, mula po sa Ontario, Canada. Ayan po. Patuloy po natin. Kapit internet lang tayo. Talagang ito talagang challenge ngayon sa new normal setup sa ating remote learning. Kaya I think naglabas ng memo ang ating chancellor to really yung nagkatatapos lang, or I think we're still in the reading and wellness break para po medyo makahinga-hinga ang ating mga estudyante. And right now, nakikita ko na po ang gwapong-gwapo at ready na overall chair of the UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit. Let us welcome Dr. Cristino M. Collado. Resti.
Thank you, Sir RJ. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat at hindi po kami late. Nasira po ang aming internet dito sa Office of the Chancellor. Kanina po kami bago alas 9, kompleto na po ang team natin dito. Ganun po man po. Again, good morning to everyone. And we are now at the last stage of our webinar series. But before we open the last episode, please allow me to bring back to what had happened before. Iyan po ang first webinar po natin. Diyan po ay nagsalita ang ating Chancellor, ang ating National Scientist, ang ating Regent ng Board of Regents, si Francis Laurel, at ang ating pong UPLB-AA President. Noon po ay nilatag nila ang parang framework ng ating tatalakayin sa mga susunod na araw at kung ano po ang programa ng UPLB para po ma-future-proof ang ating university. Sinundan naman po ito ng ating po mga alumni sa business, mainly agribusiness. At doon po ay tinalakay natin ang kalagayan ng ating agribusiness community in terms of their participation to our initiatives here in UPLB. At doon po natin tinalakay kung ano naman ang pagkakataon na kaya nilang ibigay sa ating mga graduates at graduating students kapag sila ay naghahanap na po ng trabaho. The third one actually is focus on what the industry can do if they link with the UPLB. At dito po again, mga alumni po natin ang nanguna under Mayor Eileen Arcillas of Santa Rosa City. Ang ating pong mga kasamahan, sina Mario Mamon. At doon po ay inimbita po natin ang Vice President ng Toyota Motors Philippines sapagkat hinahanap po natin ang ating linkage sa mga taong po pwede nating lapitan kung tayo po ay nangangailangan ng tulong para po sa ating mga estudyante. Ang sumunod naman po ay ang ating mga alumni na ngayon po ay mga pangunahing officials ng state colleges and universities. Nabanggit ko po noon na 27 of our alumni are now the presidents of leading colleges and universities in the Philippines. At doon po ay tinalakay natin paano ba na sa pamamagitan ng ating mga alumni sa state colleges and universities at sa pamumuno po ng UPLB ay makakabuo tayo ng isang university consortium na magkakaroon tayo ng collaborative undertakings in research, in extension, and most especially in exchange of technologies at faculty members and students. And now po, I think this is the time when we introduced ano-ano naman po ba ang pwedeng i-alay ng university sa mga taong naghahanap ng business? Ano-ano na po ba ang ating mga accomplishments? Ano-ano na po ba ang ating mga researches na hindi po nailalabas sa public? At doon po ay it was a very eye-opening webinar sapagkat naipakita po natin na napakarami po pala nating technologies dito na natutulog lamang at naghihintay ng mga taong po pwedeng mag-commercialize. At ito nga po ang susundan ng ating webinar ngayon. And before I give the floor to the next speaker, I really would like to express my sincere appreciation to the people who made this seminar possible and really eye-opener and informative. I'm congratulating the chair, Dr. Rex Navarro, and his co-chair, Dr. Shell Abito, and the members, Dr. Myra Borines, Dr. Cruz, Dr. Cuino, Professor Eileen Gutierrez, Dr. Eileen Lapitan, Dr. Felisa Malabayawas, and Mr. Pablito Villegas. And of course, I cannot complete my appreciation if we don't mention the people who have always been with us here at the conference room of the Chancellor every time we have a seminar. This is led by the Director of OAR, Dr. Eileen Mamino, Dr. D. Maligalig, at ang kanya po mga staff, sina Amy Mariveles, Oli Valencia, Ezra Abundo, Pat De Los Reyes, at ang ating po mga really hardworking ladies, si Cheska, Lim, Marge Espinas, Kat Borromeo, Jess Tolentino, at Ryan Barcena. So this completes the totality of what we have taken so far, and that this all will be the opener to our summit that will start tomorrow. So again, welcome to our webinar series, the concluding session, at inaasahan ko po bukas sama-sama po nating salubungin ang first ever UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit. Magandang umaga po sa inyong lahat.
Thank you, Sir Resty Collado, for sharing the journey of our webinar series. And we are so excited sa mangyayari tomorrow sa ating first UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit. And now let's listen to the welcome remarks from the UPLB Office of Alumni Relations Director, Dr. Eileen Lorena Mamino. Dr. Eileen.
Hi, good morning po. At dahil napasalamatan na po lahat ni Doc Resty, hindi ko na ulitin. Nais ko lang po pasalamatan ng ating Chancellor, Chancellor Don Camacho. At saka po ang atin po UPLB Alumni Association headed by President Manny Baradas. Maraming salamat po sa patuloy na pagsuporta sa mga layunin po at mga ginagawa po ng UPLB Office of Alumni Relations. So sa ngayon po ay natutuwa po talaga ako at kasama ang aking mga kasamahan dito sa OAR na tayo po ay patuloy na nagkakasama-sama at patuloy na ginagampanan ang mga dapat nating gampanan. Sana po huwag kayong magsasawa na tulungan po kami, samahan kami sa lahat ng journey po ng UPLB Office of Alumni Relations. Maraming salamat po muli. At ngayon pa lang po, iniimbitahan ko na po kayo para bukas. Abangan po natin ang kauna-unahang UPLB Alumni-Industry Summit. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Direk Eileen. Short and sweet ang kanyang introduction and message sa ating mga attendees for our webinar series. So maraming salamat po Sir Resty and Ma'am Eileen. So it's better if actually nakapagpa-attendance check na tayo, nag-say present na yung mga attendees natin, participants, and dumadami na po tayo. So kindly share yung atin pong sa mga nasa Zoom and nasa FB Live, you can share our live stream for the last installment for our webinar series by sharing dun sa ating Facebook Live sa official Facebook page ng UPLB Office of Alumni Relations. Okay, for today, as I've said a while ago, we'll have another set of panelists. mga power speakers ito, from the different colleges and centers of the university to share some valuable insights, learnings, and possibly perspectives on how UPLB can contribute and strengthen the alliance and linkages between us in the academe, our alumni, and in the industry sector. So let's begin. Our first panelist is the current director of the National Institute of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology, or as we know here in UPLB Biotech, and as a prolific researcher and STEAM expert in her field, which is plant pathology. She developed a total of 9 technologies, including a food safety detection kit with a granted patent and a biofertilizers and inoculants for control of soil-borne pathogens and growth enhancement of crops, leading to increased yield and income for our dear beloved Filipino farmers. These include, hindi ko lang kung tama ang pronunciation ko, vesicular arbuscular mycorrhizal root inoculant, correct na lang ako ni Dr. Brown later, or VAMRI, that is already being used by numerous farmers and agribusinesses all over the country due to its efficacy. Colleagues and partners, let's give a virtual applause to Dr. Marilyn Borja Brown. Dr. Brown.
Good morning, President Mauro Baradas, CAPS Alumni Association President Cristina Collado, SEAT Alumni Association President Pantaleon Tabanao, and Chancellor Jose V. Camacho. Good morning. So also to the chair, Dr. Rex Navarro, co-chaired by Dr. Shell Habito. Thank you for the opportunity to present the biotech's products and technologies. But first, I will walk you through a brief overview of the Institute's history. Biotech was conceived at the time when countries worldwide were at the crossroad of crisis and significant discoveries. While the Philippines suffered energy crisis, Brazil boasted a technological success in producing alcohol gas from sugarcane. So biotechnology was ignited as genetic engineering research took the center stage in R&D in most of the Western countries, giving hope to increase food production and decrease impact of infestation. So the proposed fusion of the physical and biological sciences was crafted by key lead scientists of the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, to work on biotechnological research and development and capitalize on the country's resources in developing alternative solutions to energy and food problems. So I just would like to show you the 2 main biotech leaders, Dr. Emil Javier, the founding director. With bravery and a noble vision, he trailblazed the key R&D directions and drafted biotech's very first operational plan. At the time, Dr. Javier was also serving as the UPLB Chancellor and later became the Minister of the National Science and Technology. And through his advocacy, biotechnology was pinpointed as a flagship project of the government in answer to the energy crisis in 1979. And also a leader, an administrator, and a scientist chemist, Dr. William G. Padolina, assumed directorship in 1985. And then after serving as Dr. Javier's executive deputy director, he demonstrated how a research and development institution can be led and nurtured into higher level of competence and technological breakthrough. And so, as conviction translated itself into concrete R&D agenda, each mandate was further defined to reflect the technological needs it intended to fill in the next generations. Thus, biotech mandates became to develop cost-effective and environment-friendly technologies for the production of goods and services that are comparable or better alternatives to conventional products for their use in agriculture, forestry, environment, energy, and industry. At present, we have 5 main programs at biotech. The first one is the biotechnology for agriculture and forestry program. This program has been a pioneer in research and development of biofertilizer technologies, microbial-based technologies such as plant growth and yield enhancers, biopesticides, animal vaccines, and diagnostics. Next program is the Biotechnology for Food, Feed, and Specialty Products program. This program responsible for the development of technologies for feed security and safety, such as probiotics and prebiotics, functional foods, food and feed enhancers and enzymes, diagnostics for foodborne pathogens, and contaminants. The next program is Biotechnology for Industry, Energy, and Environment program, which is responsible for industrial and environmental applications such as superior bags, processes for biorefinery, renewable energy and chemical building blocks, biopolymers, bioplastics, enzyme production, and waste management. Also, the Biotechnology for Natural Products program, the number 4 program. This program undertakes the development of reduced risk biopesticides, insect bioassays for identification of insecticidal actinomycetes, plant cell and tissue culture-based biopesticide production, and formulated biopesticide efficacy testing. And the last program, the Technology Transfer and Business Development program. This program develops and packages informational and educational communication materials and training modules for various stakeholders and provides technology transfer services. Also, we have 5 services program. The first one is the Philippine National Collection of Microorganism program, services program, the Central Bank of Microorganisms in the Philippines, and also provides microbiological analysis and services, ISO accredited biological testing laboratory in the UP system, and this is the only one ISO accredited. And we also have the Central Analytical Service Laboratories, performs routine chemical analysis, modifies and standardized analytical methods for specific samples, and develops new analytical techniques. So it is also recognized laboratory of various government regulatory agencies and is the first ISO 17025-2005 accredited chemical testing laboratories in the UPLB. Of course, the National Immunological Testing Laboratory serves as the Center for Early Detection of Pests of economically important crops as well as food and feed contaminants. We also have the Electron Microscopy Service Lab. So this is the only laboratory in the Philippines that offers services for preparation of biological samples for SEM and TEM. And the Fermentation Engineering and Service Laboratory. It provides engineering and technical assistance to government and private clients, translate the biotechnologies developed in the laboratories and into pilot scale and viable commercial scale. So to date, the Institute has developed numerous technologies in various stages of commercialization. It has more than 45 commercializable technologies and biotechnologies for large-scale verification for crop production, food and feed industry, and these several products are already being marketed. So, biotech shall live and sustain by the vision of providing the highest quality of life for the Filipino through research, development, and extension. I will just give you to show you our products. So, very brief. So we have these biofertilizers, the BioN products, the Microbial, the Brown Magic, Microgrow, Nitroblast, Bamri, Biosulfi, Microcap, Microreach, other biofertilizers that was the BioGreen. This BioGreen is the bioorganic fertilizer, and then if you would like to make it more, you can add the Biofix and the enrichment inoculant. And then for the composting inoculant, for this, you can use the BioQuick. So being sold at Biotech now. Then we have also the Phospholink, Microplus, BioGrow, Hormogrow, Nutrio, foliar spray by fertilizer for sugarcane. Maybe you will ask later, why so many? So I can answer that, okay? So the high, also for the biopesticides and vaccines, we have the high yeast, the Acticon, wilt cure, Pelmicrol, and then some vaccines, the Biovac for chickens and ducks against fowl cholera, Biovac, HS for pasteurellosis or hemorrhagic septicemia, and then the Biovac protects quality against infectious coryza, respiratory tract disease of fowls, and then the NPB, BT for off, and then the Bactrulet. Okay. So also food feed for food and feed enzymes. So as you can see, we developed the animal probiotics, protein-enriched copra meal, microbial rennet, and so many kind of enzymes. And for other products, recently we have this Monascus natural red colorant, plant diagnostic kit, the PCR-based detection kits for food and feed bacterial pathogens, the QuickSense. We also have virgin coconut oil, pili pulp oil, the probiotics, and dips. So I asked Dr. Peliado if I can present all of them, but he wanted to. I will concentrate on only 5 mature technologies. So these are the priority products now being commercialized. They are now proven to be very effective and expensive and eco-friendly. We have the BioN. This is a microbial-based fertilizer for rice and corn. So as you can see the effectiveness of this. So during the seedling stage without BioN and with BioN at the right side. And with BioN during the in-field conditions and without BioN. So dun sa baba, the lower portion during the prior to harvesting. Okay, you can see the difference of plants inoculated with BioN and without BioN. So this was also added with half recommended rates of fertilizer. Okay, and BioN for corn, we have also an inoculant. So without BioN, to show you the difference when added with BioN, the yield. At present, the biotechnology was already transferred through the establishment of 83 BioN mixing plant funded by the Department of Agriculture. The mixing plants purchase the BioN concentrates at biotech and process, reconstitute, and pack them to sell the profit to end users. And then for Microbial, this is a soil-based biofertilizer for fruit trees, agricultural crops, reforestation species, and for ornamental crops. So just to show you the effectiveness of this inoculant, the left one without microbial, and then the right one inoculated with microbial. So you can see the difference. And the microbial recently was also proven very effective to rehabilitate mined out areas in, so this is just an experiment in Marinduque. So showing the successful result. Okay. Pwede na pala. And then the microbial was used for biofertilizers to help boost Pinoy's national greening programs. So we planted about 1.5 billion mycorrhizal inoculated plants for this national greening project. And next is another mycorrhizal inoculant. So the first one, the microbial, is a soil-based inoculant. And then for the BAMRI, this is a vesicular arbuscular mycorrhizal inoculant. The difference is not that the Bamri is the concentrated form of inoculant. So it is not a soil-based, but in the, so the same effect. So we concentrated on agricultural crops. So you can see the difference of, so first at this greenhouse, and then to show you the sugar cane na walang Bamri at saka may Bamri. And then the Pasaba, walang Bamri and may Bamri. So in field conditions. And then in field conditions also, just to show you the difference between the soybean inoculated with Bamri, and then compared to those, this is Bamri, the left side, and then compared to control, yun, malilit yung control, but this was blanket application of NitroPlus was done. So all of these plants were inoculated with NitroPlus, and then the NitroPlus alone yung control, and then Bamri. So you can see the difference. And then it was also found that during summer, pag may without Bamri, the plants can be easily wilted compared to those plants with Bamri. So proven na yun. And then lately, we developed Bamri enhancers. So they are compatible to Bamri inoculant, the Phospholink, Mitrofix, and Mycolink. Next, so this is just to show you the effectiveness of the inoculant. Next is the microbial milk coagulant. Okay. This rennet was found to be very effective alternative to animal rennet in cheese making. So with higher cheese yield, improved cheese texture and flavor, and then the longer shelf life, and this is suitable for vegetarians. So this is compared to those when we use the rennet from the abomasum of animal. Next, we have the Monascus red, all natural microbial-based red color for food, cosmetics, and pharmaceuticals. So I just would like to inform the body that all these 5 priority products that I am presenting already received national awards. Lately, this Monascus red. And then the Monascus red, so just to compare the colorant from plant or animal origin compared to microbial origin, our Monascus red is more stable to light and heat, can be readily available or anytime, and it's very cost effective. And just to show you those with Monascus red to artificial color, the difference to control. So just to show you the products applied with different concentrates or added with Monascus red. Okay. And then the other one is the protein-enriched copra meal as an alternative to soybean, alternative in animal feed, alternative to soybean meal. Okay. So the copra meal is a waste from coconut industry. Okay. So the results of those animals, the swine, the broilers, and layers, bangus and tilapia, that were supplied with protein-enriched copra meal were comparable sa mga added with soybean meal. Okay. Swine, broilers, layers, bangus, and tilapia. So we also have the pilot scale studies to prove, showcase, and encourage prospective investors that the technology is efficient and effectively working under pilot scale scenarios. So this is the PECM pilot plan. Next is the Acticon. biocontrol formulation against Fusarium oxysporum, the PR4 race affecting Cavendish banana. Just to show you the difference with plants without acticon and with acticon. So for the takeaways to our stakeholders, the biotech products and technologies encourage sustainable development because they are, number one, locally sourced, sustainable and friendly to the environment, and widely adopted and proven to be cost efficient. But our current challenges to technology transfer, attracting potential licensees, technology takers, and adapters, and putting up appropriate infrastructure for the pilot scaling of its products. Also, biotech researchers and staff will continue to be open for collaboration with the industry, government agencies, and other partners to improve and enhance the Institute's research, development, and extension programs towards the fulfillment of each mandate. And thank you very much. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to present our 47 products that are now, that were developed at Biotech. Okay. Thank you very much, and that's my presentation. So if I have some more slides here, if I have time, just to show you the status of our biotechnologies, products, and processes. Thank you. Maraming salamat. At saka I would like to take this opportunity to thanks again the especially Dr. Collado to allow me to present our products, 47 products. So kasi ito lang yung opportunity that I can may promote yung other products. So if you have any question or questions regarding the products, you can contact Biotech to answer your queries. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Brown. So, nag-present si Dr. Brown na at least 47 products from UPLB Biotech. Napakarami talaga pong mature technologies ng biotech that is ready for tech transfer and commercialization. May mga ilan na po tayong questions dito, but i-collate muna po natin yan. You can send now your questions sa ating Q&A box dito po sa Zoom, and sa iba po na nasa FB Live, pwede rin po sa comment section. I-check po natin yan mamaya because we will need first to finish the next two presenters po, no, for our webinar series today before tayo mag-go on sa ating Q&A. Okay, so maraming salamat, Dr. Brown. You can rest for a while. We will get back to you later. Now, moving on, our second panelist is the current Dean of the UPLB College of Forestry and Natural Resources. He has held numerous key positions since the beginning of his professional career, from being the program director of ABS-CBN's Foundation's Bantay Kalikasan to various positions at the Department of Environment and Natural Resources. He was instrumental to many of the department's projects and legislations, including serving as the first national program coordinator of the National Greening Program. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome in our virtual spotlight, Professor Dean Marlo D. Mendoza.
Thank you for the kind introduction. Please allow me first to extend my greetings to Dr. Jose V. Camacho Jr., Chancellor of UPLB, to Dr. Resty Collado, Vice President of the UPLB-Alumni Association, to all Cfnr and UPLB constituents, and to all attendees to this webinar. Magandang umaga po. Allow me to introduce our college. So the College of Forestry and Natural Resources is the Philippines' oldest and finest academic institution of higher learning in forestry. It's a top-performing forestry school in the country with a passing rate of 100% in the 2021 Forester's Licensure Examination. And the Cfnr is one of CHED's Center of Excellence in Forestry Education and the only certified BS Forestry program by the ASEAN University Network Quality Assurance. It's home to 773 students taking the Certificate in Forestry, Sub-Professional course, and BS Forestry course. Our staff complement, faculty members, research, extension, and professional staff, administrative personnel number to more than 200. Also, the college is the steward of the legendary Mount Makiling Forest Reserve, a 4,000-hectare forest of immense biodiversity, and established as the 33rd ASEAN Heritage Park. The college has 8 units. 4 of these are academic departments, 3 centers, and 1 institute. Our vision, a world-class leader in the education, science, and responsible management of tropical forests, natural resources, and the environment. One of CFNR's mission is to pioneer knowledge generation and innovative enterprise management and technologies through research and development programs and policy initiatives that increase natural productivity, strengthen cultural values, enhance ecosystem services, and respond to national issues and imperatives. The CFNR develops its core competencies through its 8 units. It has 4 academic units, namely Institute of Renewable Natural Resources, Department of Forest Biological Science, Department of Forest Products and Paper Science, and the Department of Social Forestry and Forest Governance. The college works in close partnership with the Philippine Council for Agriculture, Aquatic, and Natural Resources Research and Development, Forest Products Research and Development Institute, Forest Management Bureau of the DNR, Ecosystems Research and Development Bureau of the DNR, and the Philippine Wood Producers Association, as well as the Society of Filipino Foresters Incorporated. The core competencies and technologies of the CFNR are, number 1, forest biotechnology, biodiversity assessment and monitoring and conservation, tree improvement and tree breeding, nursery operations, plantation development, maintenance and management, processing of wood and non-timber forest products, species, product matching and product development, restoration of historical and cultural buildings and artifacts, future-proofing community and LGU development plans, focusing on natural resources management. Again, on our core competencies and technologies, for forest biotechnology, biodiversity assessment, monitoring, and conservation. So on the left photo, the facilities shown are the Forest Biotechnology Laboratory of CFNR, which houses Tissue Culture Lab and the Forest Genetics Laboratory. We also perform biodiversity assessment and monitoring in support of forest conservation, as shown on the right photos. We are capable of providing technical expertise on the whole range of activities in industrial forest plantation development, from species, site matching, forest tree seed technology, to the production of planting stocks in forest nurseries, and the establishment and maintenance of the same species in forest plantations. The left photo shows the macro-propagation of tree species using vegetative parts of the plant as means to producing high-quality planting materials of genetically improved trees. Also, the college is a recipient of the DNR's grant of clonal nursery given to state universities and colleges. These clonal nurseries will aid in the implementation of the National Greening Program and to ensure availability of quality planting materials, both for production and protected areas. The lower right photo shows the modernized and mechanized forest nursery. It's also a joint project of the College of Forestry and the DNR. This mechanized nursery is equipped with automatic seed dispenser, overhead misting system, greenhouse, and utilizes root trainer containers. The nursery can accommodate 1 million seedlings per year. If you look at the the upper left photo, this shows that the college also is supporting tree farming. Field trials are conducted to select seed sources and future seed orchards. The photo here shows a 6-month-old trial of falcata, and this species is used for veneer for plywood making. So notice the superior growth rates, significantly shortening the rotation period in harvesting trees. Assessment of progress utilizes the recovery wheel. Before I talk about the recovery wheel, the Cfnr also provides technical assistance to the mining industry in rehabilitating mined-out areas. The lower photo shows agoho, which can thrive in very degraded soils. And assessment of progress utilizes the recovery wheel, an assessment tool adapted from the Society of Ecological Restoration. It's a dynamic global network of over 4,000 members who foster the exchange of knowledge and expertise among ecological restoration practitioners and scientists from diverse disciplines and backgrounds. The right photos here show the Institute of Agroforestry's outcomes. It's the Agroforestry Land Capability Assessment and Mapping Scheme, which assesses the land capability for agroforestry using a set of indicators. The Institute of Agroforestry is a joint program between the College of Forestry and Natural Resources and the College of Agriculture and Food Science. In the aspect of silviculture, or science of growing and tending trees, the college performs tree surgery of diseased trees and conducts training as well. The photo in the middle here shows the stem cavity of a more than 50-year-old Malabayabas tree in the Quezon protected landscape being treated, thus prolonging the life of the tree to several decades more. Then the other photos shows assessment of tree health and tree care maintenance in an urban setting. We also have wood processing technologies, which include wood machining. We have wood misers here. And then we also have a kiln dryer and wood preservation facilities, but we are now renovating it and expanding it. And we do this in close collaboration with the Forest Products and Research and Development Institute. Meanwhile, non-timber forest product utilization involves the characterization and development of products from NTFPs, which include bamboos and other sources of fibers, and structural materials, extracts, essential oils, and seed oils. On the photo, you'll see novelty items, almasiga resin, bamboo furniture, itaog oil, and pandan products. The college also extends technical assistance and training on wood preservation to chemicals and wood treatment companies, as well as the industry, the wood industry. Past researches on processing of wood and non-timber forest products include investigation of seasoning characteristics and establishment of kiln drying schedules of industrial tree plantation species. Some of our graduates were assigned to kiln drying facilities of furniture companies for their practicum. And we also intend, as part of the extension and public surveys on Monday, to provide technical assistance to such factories, which is which plays very important role in the construction industry, housing and construction industry. In this direction, we look forward to more collaboration with other research institutions such as FPRDI and private woodworking companies. For species product matching and product development, we manufacture wooden products ranging from bed frames and cabinets to trophies and wooden souvenir items among other things. And here's a photo of more wooden products. We have studies on the use of fibers from wood and other fiber sources for paper making, including the characterization of fibers and paper testing. We also do this in collaboration with the Forest Products Research and Development Institute, and also we have industry partners. The college also has expertise in restoration of historical and cultural buildings and artifacts. The left photo indicates the expertise and technical assistance extended in wood identification, which is an important tool for restoration of old or heritage houses, buildings, and artifacts. The photo here shows the actual restoration woodwork of the being done by one of our colleagues here. For future proofing of community and LGU development plans, specifically for natural resources management, we have competencies on drone-based survey, mapping, and planning, and assessment of restored ecosystems functions in mining site using landscape function analysis. LFA evaluates ecosystem functions such as stability against soil erosion, water infiltration, and nutrient cycling restored in rehabilitation sites. This photo shows application of GIS, or Geographic Information System, where the college has projects monitoring land use change over time. A GIS is a computer system for capturing, storing, checking, and displaying data related to positions on Earth's surface, on the Earth's surface. So we have here time series object-based image analysis of a forest-based canopy, from 2014 up to 2018, as just an example of the application of GIS in forestry. Another competency of the college for future-proofing community and LGU development plans is the GIS-based watershed planning and management, which uses the watershed as a planning unit to capture the interconnectedness of the various ecosystems. Employing watershed-based integrated land use planning approach for all mandated plans, such as the Comprehensive Land Use Plan, Forest Land Use Plan, Local Climate Change Action Plan, Environmental Resource Management Plan, and other national government agency mandated plans, is an important approach to sustain ecosystems services. Moreover, under future-proofing competencies, we have social technologies or processes, such as community-based planning and community organizing, for evidence-based participatory planning, which help empower people and communities to manage forests and natural resources by themselves and for themselves. Other innovative technologies, just like the biotech, which Dr. Brown has already explained, we also use biotech technologies in forestry. So aside from the college core competencies and technologies, we have been engaged in several research and development projects that have produced notable and innovative technologies. So among these are the tissue culture of threatened indigenous species. This is particularly important for the Philippines as a mega-diverse country. We're one of 17 mega-diverse countries in the world. And we also have the lahar guard, the featherboard, and the waste tobacco stalk as an additive for plywood glue mix. So concerning genetic testing, DNA barcoding, and fingerprinting, DNA barcoding uses DNA sequences to verify the identity of species with high accuracy rather than just relying on physical examination of a species. And then we also do DNA fingerprinting, which uses genotype profiles of individual species. These profiles can be used to track origins or sources of planting materials, wood and wood products, or non-timber forest products. And the college has assisted private plantation companies and other SUCs in verifying the identities of their planting materials, such as agar wood, eucalyptus, other native potential tree plantation species, and even introduce tree plantation species such as Gimelina and Falcata. Tissue culture is an alternative to the conventional clonal propagation to mass produce important high-value forest crops, especially trees, which are difficult to clone using conventional methods. So this complements the production of seedlings of trees with very limited seeds, because we have three species that have fruiting years, no? That happens only once every 3 to 5 years. So if you miss that fruiting season, then you miss collecting seeds, no, from these especially endangered species. So this is an excellent method of mass production of superior genotype varieties. The College of Forestry has also multi-inoculant for agroforestry crops, similar to what biotech is doing, and this is funded by the DA BAR. So this inoculant is a byproduct of existing bio-N technology that extends its application for urban farming. It yielded promising results on growth and yield of agroforestry crops like the pinakbet vegetables, no? Coffee and cacao, when applied with multi-inoculants formulated from indigenous endomycorrhizas and growth-promoting bacteria isolated and tested in the Calabar Zone farms. Concerning the Lahar Guard, no? This is a non-toxic and non-chemical termite control technology using lahar particles. Lahar aggregates from Mount Pinatubo, consisting of uniform or mixed particles, can be used as an effective barrier to prevent penetration and infestation of subterranean termites. We have here the economically important species of Philippine subterranean termites and the mechanism of how physical barrier excludes termites from wooden structures. So lahar particles from Mount Pinatubo were used, no? And previously as many as 3,000 trucks per day are of lahar are hauled, no? From Pampanga. So this is another potential use of this lahar. And a patent has been applied, and funding for this project was provided for by the Charles Lindbergh Foundation, USA. Another innovative innovation that the college is doing is a feather board. It's a cement bonded chicken feather composites that are suitable for non-structural applications in low-cost housing projects. Considering that the Philippine poultry industry produces about 40 million broiler chickens, and this translates to around 6 million kilograms of feather wastes annually. So the stiffness, flexural strength, and dimensional stability of feather board are slightly lower or comparable to that of commercially available wood fiber cement board, like Hardiflex, no? Which is commonly used in the market. So the cement bonded feather board has excellent decay and termite resistance properties. The funding for this project was provided by the Ford Conservation and Environmental Grants, and the patent already has been applied. And then another innovation the college is doing is use of tobacco stalk as a new additive for plywood glue mix. So tobacco stalk particles used as filler or extender in plywood glue formulation will improve adhesive working properties, specifically strength, no? And other mechanical and physical properties. These stalk particles contain phenolics and tannins that possesses good adhesive properties. Tobacco stalks are often burned in the field and pose increasing solid waste disposal and even air pollution problem, no, if it's burned. And then for future directions, nanotechnology, biocomposites, engineered bamboo, bioenergy, green building. So in the area of nanotechnology, research efforts include isolation of nanocellulose from wood, bamboo, and other non-timber forest products, and the development of products from these nanomaterials. Nanoparticles as applications in the preservation of wooden structures, but there are many other applications. Biocomposites, some composite material formed by a matrix like resin and a reinforcement of natural fibers. So this involves the development of sustainable biocomposites from bio-based fibers and polymers designed to be competitive with composites from fossil-based materials. Examples are fiberboards, particle boards, nanocellulose reinforced films, lignin-based composites. On engineered bamboo, development and investigation of different engineered bamboo products, including composite boards, reconstituted panels, and laminated flattened calm products from bamboo for furniture production, cabinetry, and modern home construction. On bioenergy, research activities are being conducted for the conversion of forest biomass to biofuels through different thermal processes. Examples are fuel pellets, wood pellets, torrefied wood, and bio-oil. And on structural engineered wood products for green building, the use of cross-laminated timber, glued laminated timber, among others, are also being explored for building construction. The college, as part of its future plans, wishes to be more engaged in preserving the country's culture and heritage through the science-based restoration of the wooden components of historical and cultural buildings and old houses. In addition, the college is developing a wood identification app that will automatically identify a wood sample, because a similar app is already available for leaves. So this initiative is a joint research project with the Institute of Computer Science, UPLB. So that was my last slide. So we at the Cfnr commit to revitalizing the forest products industry, conserving our unique biodiversity, and sustaining ecosystem services for inclusive growth and nation building. We also welcome the partnership with industries, local government units, other state universities and colleges, and our alumni in realizing this vision. Thank you very much for your kind attention.
Hey, thank you very much, Dean Mendoza. It seems that there are a lot of things that CFNR can offer in agroforestry, natural resource management, biodiversity, among others, ng ating mga tinaguriang manggugubat para sa bayan. So, before we move on in our program, so siguro po sa ating mga participants, attendees via Zoom and FB Live, medyo galaw-galaw po ng konti. Inat-inat, ayan, kape-kape po tayo so we can still be attentive and listening and reflecting and also digesting everything that we are hearing today. So binabati rin po natin yung mga ilan nating mga nagpapa-attendance check in our webinar. We have Sir Arnulfo Creencia from Cavite na nakasama po natin ngayon. And I've been seeing a lot of questions na rin po, no? So you can send your questions in our Q&A box here via Zoom and through the comment section in our FB Live. Okay, we also have here from Pakistan, Muhammad Mandi, yan, from Forestry Research Scholar ng Department of Forestry Range and Wildlife Management ng Islamia University of Bahawalpur, Pakistan. So welcome po in our webinar series in UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit webinar series. So later siguro babasahin ko pa yung iba Meron pa rin sa Facebook, we have Ma'am Norma Medina, si Ma'am Larissa Gata, Emeline Ramos Espiritu ay kasama rin po natin in our webinar series today. So, let's move on. We are actually now down to our last panelist, and we will entertain your questions later. So, she is the current dean, actually the first woman dean of the College of Engineering and Agri-Technology, or SEAT. She's a prolific researcher leader and awarded as the 2019 SEAT Outstanding Researcher, having produced scientific publications and presented more than 100 technical papers in national and international scientific fora. She also spearheaded the crafting of the first outcomes-based education for the BS Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering program in 2014, which passed the ASEAN University Network Quality Assurance System, the first ever ABE program in the Philippines to be an AUNQA assured. And as a public servant, she worked for the elevation of the agricultural mechanization development program to the Center for Agri-Fisheries and Biosystems Mechanization, or BioMech. Colleagues and partners, let's welcome Dr. Rossana Marie C. Amongo. Dean Rose.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, UPLB. Good morning, Philippines. So let me just share with you my presentation for today. So while I am sharing it, can you see now? I hope so. So
Yes,
let me just give first my greetings to our Chancellor, Chancellor Jose V. Camacho Jr., to our alumni president, President Manny Baradas, of course, to our Vice President, Dr. Resty Collado, who is also the chair of this first ever UPLB Alumni Summit. And then, of course, to Dr. Rex Navarro, who is the chair for this webinar series, and the ever energetic director of our Office of the Alumni Relations, AC Eileen, magandang umaga po. And to my co-panelists for today, Dr. Brown and Dean Marlo Mendoza. So I think they have presented so many things to be offered to the industry. So let me just try then to present what SEAT can offer. So I gave a title from SEAT UPLB to the industry. So just like Dean Marlo, I would like also to introduce our college. So our college started as just a department of the College of Agriculture in 1102. So we are almost on our 112th anniversary. We were elevated into a college in 1983, offering two major programs, the agricultural engineering then, now agricultural and biosystems engineering, and the chemical engineering. And from then on, we've grown into a very big college, second to the College of Arts and Sciences, having about 2,285 engineering students. So our vision is excellence in engineering, education, research and extension, committed for the progressive transformation and global relevance of Philippine agriculture and industry. Our mission is to produce engineers with the highest technical capabilities, entrepreneurial and networking skills, commitment to protect of the environment and natural resources, deep sense of ethical principles, desire to serve the nation, and appreciation of our culture and arts. So what we can offer, we have different degree programs in engineering. So we have the undergraduate programs. The oldest is the BS Agricultural and Basic Biosystems Engineering, having made 4 major fields: the BS in Chemical Engineering, Civil Engineering, Electrical Engineering, Industrial Engineering, and our latest offering, the Mechanical Engineering, which just started this semester. For our graduate programs, we have MS in Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering, focusing in 3 major fields: MS in Agrometeorology, MS in Chemical Engineering, and then our PhD program in Agricultural Engineering with our new program offering PhD in Agricultural Engineering by Research. So our 2 centers, which are declared as national centers based on AFMEC law, also offers different trainings and human resource development. So we have the Center for Agri-Fisheries and Biosystems Mechanization, who is mandated to lead and coordinate the agri-fishery mechanization RDE program of all HEIs in the country based on RA 10601, and the Agricultural Machinery Testing and Evaluation Center, which is serving as the premier testing center of agricultural machineries in the country. What is our human resource capabilities? So right now, we are about 294 faculty and staff at the College of Engineering. And you can see there that our faculty is about 43% of our human resource. And if you look at the faculty profile, we have most of us we have lots of assistant professors. So these are young professors. We are only limited with the professor and associate professor's position. But of course, with all of this, we have a very powerful, a powerhouse of engineering, of engineers of different fields of expertise who could be of service to nation building and future-proofing UPLB. So let me just proceed to the developed technologies that we have in the College of Engineering. So we call it Tatak Seyat, Tatak UPLB. So before I will continue, I am very, very honored to be part of this discussion today because Seyat was given a chance to present the different developed technologies to our alumni and to our industry partners. So let me just start with the crop production machinery. So ang ating crop production machinery, basically the heart and soul of this is the use of prime movers, which could either be a hand tractor or a four-wheel tractor. But basically hand tractors are still the most prevalent machine for land preparation operation. So we have designed different types of machines, hand tractors. The first one is your UPLB hand tractor with steering clutch mechanism. This one addresses the issue on turning the machine because our local designs have no turning mechanism and you have to exert all your efforts to turn the machine at the end of the headland. So we addressed that, and then we came up with a mini hand tractor or garden tractor, which could be used by women or for greenhouse, primary, and secondary tillage operation. Then we modified also the hand tractor because not all the operators are men. And so we would like to cater also the possibilities of women using the hand tractor. And most of our designers were focusing on mechanical and technical perfection. And sometimes they only include less of the fitness of the technology to the end user. So we measured different anthropometric measurements and came up with a design. One of the latest revision of this is the UPLB hand tractor designed by our Vice Chancellor, Vizi Baxparas. So it integrated a new mechanism in turning. And then siguro this is one of our most innovative e-tractor. So this is being designed by a team of faculty and staff at UPLB, SEAT. This one is being powered by a DC electric motor and a battery pack, which defies the notion that electric motors can only be used for mobile for stationary applications. But this time we tried it to be put into a mobile application. Then for our crop care, or TLC, tender loving care for our plants, we have our single row organic fertilizer applicator. So this could be attached to a power tiller for easier mobility. And then we have also the automated fertilizer applicator. So we tried to automate it, giving only fertilizer whenever there is a seed that would drop from the seed plate. Then we have also our different land and water resources management technologies. So we have what you call, this is part of the Sarai project. This is your WAIS, or Water Advisory for Irrigation Scheduling. It has three major components. So the major components include the soil moisture-based advisory, then the ETCAL based on our evapotranspiration, and then our smart agri-monitoring SAMG for greenhouses. So they have produced all the different technologies for the WAIS and for the ETCAL.
WAIS is a decision support system that provides site and crop specific.
And then we have our smart plant factory with artificial lamp. So this is being undertaken by the group of Dr. Saludes. So we can grow vertical farming, and you can see here that they have a robust harvest. And this PFAL can control your growing system by providing growth lights, temperature and RH control, CO2 control, and even the nutrient solution for the one that is supporting the plant. We have also a very big project with the UC Berkeley on smart irrigation and Internet of Things, or IoT. So this is being led by Dr. Elia. And they have also produced 4 technologies in this project, and is now being dispersed to our collaborators. And then the group of I leave this group for the suitable sites for small irrigation projects. This is part of a bigger project, but we were assigned for Calabarzon and Mindoro provinces. So we use this as part of the decision-making and planning for the allocation of the next SSIP projects of the government, which could be suitable for the different types of small-scale irrigation projects, not only in the Calabarzon region, but also in the other parts of the country. For some of our post-production machinery would be the post-production machinery for corn processing. So we have a very good technopack that would address the processing of corn in our corn growing areas. So we have corn shellers, flatbed corn dryers, AMDP corn mills, and even a simple grain silo for small volume storage. We have also a very good project for the temperature control for hot water tank for heat treatment of high value crops. So you can use here some of the crops that could be initially processed so that it will hinder the deterioration of the crops. Then we have a technology package for powder production. So this is also a process, a composed of processing machines for powder production. This is being designed and developed by engineer Jose de Ramos. So you can see here the products. You can powder your turmeric, your onion leaves, your red pepper, and other agricultural products. For the mechanization of technologies for fisheries, so we also attempted to come up with some of the technologies for fisheries. And one of it, just like Dr. Dean Marlo said a while ago, we also utilized lahar as part of the filtration system for recirculating aquaculture. And this can be integrated to farming systems as source of other protein in the farm. Then we have processing line for trepang production for sandfish. So this is under the development under Dr. Kevin Yaptenko. So you have seen there the different technologies that we have. Your sandfish is being exported, and because of the traditional way of producing it, these are being these only command a lower value in the market. But with this technology, you can compare almost other products from other countries, just like the one here in your screen. So maganda po yung product na napoproduce ng technology na ito, comparable, and can take high value in the market. Lately, we have the UPLB seaweed dryer. So this is designed by Dr. Pangan, the current biomech director. So it has been distributed to all parts, to all parts in the country for those who have growing and processing our seaweed. We have also technologies for renewable energy and waste utilization. So the first one is the use of your solar energy, which was used for a solar heat assisted egg incubation system by BC Paras. Mas madali po, so it increased an annual income of about 3.3 times compared to the conventional system of making lot. We have also a fuel developed by our chair, Dr. Omar F. Subia. So it's a very, very simple device to distill some of our products and use it for the production of your ethanol. We have also researches in microhydro systems. So we develop different types of turbines, and we are also coming up with the single wire earth return system for distribution coming from our microhydro system. This is being led by our engineer, our electrical engineer, Engineer Roderick L. Catrice. For the wind energy conversion system, so we have collaborated some of our partners, and we are designing their systems for wind pumping. So we have different designs for the WEX turbine design and then wind pump system application. Lately, we just launched the waste to energy facility. So this is being led by our colleague, Professor Manolito E. Bambase of the Chemical Engineering Group. So this is supposed to be directed, or this is intended for the combustion process as a potential option for municipal solid waste management in the Philippines. Then we have also the polyhydroxyl alkanodes or PHA production from agricultural waste. So we can have an alternative for bioplastics, which could be degradable. So all these technologies are available at SEA. Other technologies that we developed, we were part of the COVID-19 pandemic research group. So the group of Dr. Detras from Chemical Engineering and the team were involved in the different developments of technologies for COVID-19. So one is the ultraviolet germicidal irradiation. So para pwede mo ulit gamitin yung mga disinfected gamit ng ating mga frontliners. We have also the vaporized hydrogen peroxide systems, chemical disinfection. So all of these were being compared and came up with a microbiological test in coordination with the IBS-CAS. We also had this isolated bed hoods, which were deployed at the Health Serve Medical Center of Los Baños for us to prevent the spread of COVID-19 pandemic. And the last one, I think, is the development of CNN and RNN topology for impedance spectroscopy. So this is a project coming from our electrical engineering group headed by Engineer JP Ramoso. We are just listed some of the research output of the Industrial Engineering Division, or department. So we can have, you can coordinate or you can see there that we can offer a lot, particularly in time motion studies for the Industrial Engineering Group. We were also very active for standards formulation and policy research, which I think we, as a college, and mandated to come up with the different technologies and policies in the agricultural and biosystems engineering. So we have the Philippine Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering Standards. This is the code of technical standards for the practice of agricultural and biosystems engineering in the Philippines. And UPLB has already produced 11 volumes and about 271 standards for general guidelines. So our team from AMTech, who is also supposed to be producing these types of publication, is continuing all the efforts to come up with other engineering standards for the other machines which will be coming to the Philippines or which will be locally produced in the Philippines. We have also formulated the standard calculation of the mechanization index in the Philippines. So we have MAMI for crops and FishMe for the fisheries sector. Because before we don't have any standard form. If you ask DA, they will refer you to Philmec or to UPLB or to Philrice. And so we came up with just one standard. So we call it the Modified Agricultural Mechanization Index and the Fisheries Mechanization Index. We have also some policies on the technical intensive use of mechanized technology in the agricultural sector, which was an anchor of the auditing team, or the NAFIAT being formulated by or established by our Department of Agriculture Secretary William Dar, for us to come up with what is happening with the investment of the government in the past from 2016 to 2019. So right now we have spent almost 37 billion worth of intended for the distribution of agricultural mechanization technologies in the countryside, of about 40,000 units of different types of machines. So then the contiguous farming is just like your land consolidation. So we attempted to come up with the guidelines from the team of UPLB. And right now we are conducting the technology appropriateness. So this is a map where you can see where your tractor could be placed, what type of tractor should be there, what type of power rating should be there, so that it will meet and it will be really a technology appropriate for the use of our farmers. We have also the assessment of intensive use of mechanization on farm labor, because there is always an issue of labor displacement whenever you introduce a mechanization technology in the farm. But based on the result of this, actually it's not really a displacement, but rather a movement in the value chain. And the Philippines basically is producing locally manufactured technologies, but we don't have a very good roadmap for the agricultural machinery manufacturing group. That is why there is a study and coming up with a roadmap to transform the Philippine agricultural machinery manufacturing. So this is another output for decision making. So using your mobile applications. So we have also this Internet of Things that are going on at SEA. So what are the challenges that we are facing in the adoption and sustainable utilization of the different technologies that we develop? So I just listed here the process flow of technology generation from the needs and design assessment, the R&D component, laboratory testing, adaptability testing, industrial extension, technology adoption, and technology commercialization and sustainable utilization. So you can see here that the needs and design assessment is really very critical for us to know what is the needed technology that our farmers will be acquiring or would like to acquire. And then we do that in partnership and come up with the R&D component. We usually do our laboratory testing. So we have limited technologies or limited equipment for laboratory testing. But we are trying to come up with a very good results for our technologies. And then adaptability testing is basically technology in a farmer's field, or what you call your piloting activities. And from there, you will be modifying and refining all the details of the design for its functionality and reliability. Then only then you can extend it for industrial extension. So along the path or along the process flow, you can see there the different issues and concerns. So as listed here, we have the number of the adapters willing to utilize the technology. So it is large enough for commercialization and mass production, availability of industry partners to produce the technology for commercialization, availability of after-sale service for technology, sustainable utilization. We have local technology needs to be at par with commercially available technologies, just like from our foreign counterparts. Basically, our foreign machines, our foreign manufactured machines really have this high costs. So we can localize them and put them and to be available to our end users. And then we have some issues on standards and regulations for technology for the quality assurance component. And we need the support system for commercialization of the technology. So what should be done? I think this is for the collaboration efforts of the academe-industry partners. So we have here listed several issues and several activities which could be joined by both our academe and our industry partners. We can have joint venture agreements, participatory approach in RDE activities, academes, industry and end users partnership. So let's treat our industry partners as also extension agents of the different UPLB developed technologies. We are looking for an increased funding for RDE activities to produce technologies, because right now I think we all know that the Philippines is one of the lowest RDE funding from the GDP. We have less than 1%, but other countries have higher funding or allocation for the different RDE activities. And in the academic part, we would like to encourage junior-senior mentoring. Our seniors are about to go, but our juniors are still starting. So we have to focus a very strong program for the junior-senior mentoring in RDE. And then we would like to explore the trade and investment industry for UPLB developed technologies through our TTBDO, a comprehensive information dissemination for the available technologies in the university, because some of it are just being produced, after the funding, after getting in or giving out to our collaborative partners. Then sometimes that would end the distribution or the extension of our activities. So some of the technologies do not really reach the commercial stage, but rather it is stopped somewhere in the adaptability testing and modification. And then the localization and commercialization of technologies. We have a very powerful engineering industry who could address. Even at SEAT, we have lots of engineers who can do the localization of foreign designs. Affordability and accessibility of technologies should be there, and to come up with a very strong standards regulation for technology as for the quality assurance. So I just put there alone, we can do so little. together we can do so much by Helen Keller for a future-proof UPLB. So I hope I have presented some of the technologies that we have, and my partners are the developers are here with me. They're also watching, and I would like to thank the committee who helped me prepare this presentation for today. Thank you very much, and we are now ready to answer your queries. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat.
Okay, thank you very much, Dean Rose Amongo. So same with Biotech and Cfnr, SEAT has a lot of technologies that it can offer in our industry sector and even to our community partners. Talaga namang sabi nga, tatak SEAT, tatak UPLB. So that's our three panelists for today, Dr. Brown, Dean Mendoza, and Dean Amongo. So let's go straight in our question and answer. So I'm going to read some of the questions entered by our participants via Zoom, and I'll also check if we have comments or questions from our Facebook viewers. So may I request again, Dr. Brown, Dean Mendoza, and Dean Amongo, present po sila and ready na to answer the questions of our participants. So again, sa ating mga attendees, please leave your questions in the Q&A box, no? Yun dun po kami magbabasa ng mga tanong for our participants or our panelists for today. So siguro po mas maganda bago natin basahin yung ibang mga questions. And this question I think is very applicable to our three panelists. Nabanggit kanina ni Dean Rose, susugan ko na po yun, no? That there's something, a concern or a challenge that we have a lot of technologies. We have a lot of innovations that we can offer to the public for their improvement of their lives and for nation building. Pero there's concern na hindi umaabot, no, in terms of commercialization. So ano sa tingin niyo, Dr. Brown, Dean Mendoza, and Dean Rose, ano yung mga bagay that we need to do possibly in the academe, or how can the alumni and our industry partners help in order na hindi may iwan sa ating mga bookshelves at library yung mga outputs natin ng mga faculty, reps, and even our students, and ito talaga ay magagamit ng ating mga kababayan. So siguro in this order, short messages siguro or answers, Dr. Brown, then we have Prof. Mendoza and Prof. Amongo.
Pwede na ako magsalita, sir?
Yes po.
Of course, itong mga forum nito, ito yung hinihintay namin na una para maging aware din yung marami for our technologies. Kasi hindi naman namin dapat trabaho na magbenta ng our own. But since walang mechanism na present sa UPLB, nung una kasi nag-try kami, but we found out na maubos lang yung time namin kasi hindi na kami makapag-research. So, siguro yung ipalakasin natin yung yung program
TTBDO.
Yeah, we have to work hard for that, and then we have to review our policy para mabilis. Noon pa yan, kaya kami natutong magbenta, ginawa naming income na naubos, buti na lang at yung mga profit binabayad sa mga tao, pero hindi yun ang trabaho namin. We should stop after the pilot scale testing. Itra-transfer na dapat. So yun na inuumpisan namin, marami nang pinag-transferan. And then number 2, katulad nito, minsan lang akong makaupo dito, so I asked them to give us more time. I have to present 47 technologies, but then you have to select 5. So siyempre, ang isi-select kong 5. Yung 5 lang na, yun na nga yung nagbebenta binebenta, and then nationwide application. So yun yung mga na-present ko, and then dapat mag-work together so that we can, sayang 40 years na kaming nagde-develop ng mga products and technologies. And then ang dami nang nag-retire, Dr. Garcia, yung mga unang nag-study yan. So it's time now for, maganda nga ito Thank you very much for this forum. So
Okay.
dagdagan na lang ni na Dr. Marlo at ni Dr. Alam nila yan ang problema. Mechanism and policy, lalo na sa, ang bilis naman sa ibang university eh. For example, sa yung mga pinupuntahan, they can really Thank you very much. Masyadong
Okay.
matatalino tayo. Thank you.
Bago natin marinig si Dean Mendoza, Ma'am Brown, siguro follow up itong question from Doc Rina. What products from biotech will be available? Kasi sabi nga hindi na present lahat, but what products from biotech will be available in this weekend's UPLB Technology and Trade Fair?
So I asked the group in charge yan. So tomorrow, since it's pandemic, mga exhibits lang dadalhin, but they can order pag nandun din sila, then they can open our Facebook page, Biotech. Ang dali-dali mag-order nun. Kasi
Okay.
kailangan din naman talaga ipagbili itong mga nandito, but sometimes hindi ready yung mga gusto nila. You just drop your para magkaroon kami ng time. Pag walang
thank you.
pandemic, palaging ready yan. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Brown. Dean Mendoza.
Thank you. I think, I also agree with Dr. Brown. Makakatulong if ang UPLB has an office, will help push for this para yung researchers can concentrate on their work. But I think malaking bagay din if at the onset, before in the process of developing our products, na-identify na natin yung gagamit ng produkto natin, sino yung possible market. And in other countries, very strong yung support, yung funding ng industry to develop the product. So in product development, kasama mo na yung market mo. Kasi like kami sa Forestry, I have a first-hand experience on this. Akala ko meron akong yung pag-supply lang ng wood. Pero nung kinausap ko yung market, ang dami doon sa wood na isa-supply ko, nire-reject. Kasi meron siyang specific requirement. So intimately working with the market, they give you feedback and they give suggestions. So I think that's another way that we have to develop. Thank you.
Thank you, Dean Mendoza. So we're getting some inputs from our experts here. Si Dr. Brown is telling us na dapat talaga may suporta, no? Meron talaga mapalakas pa yung ating efforts in commercialization in our university. Kay Dean Mendoza naman, we need to be grounded talaga sa ating mga stakeholders. So we get their felt needs o ano ba talaga kailangan nila. So when we develop our technologies, talagang yun yung i-utilize nila, no? Siguro may i-add pa si Doc Rose naman for the case of SEA.
Yeah, so thank you again, Prof. RJ. And I agree with both Ma'am Brown and Dean Marlo na meron talagang let's accept may kakulangan ang university for this. Lalong-lalo na dun sa part ng extension, commercialization, to reach our end users. We do our participatory approach in coming up with and designing and developing our technologies. We usually include our end users para meron talagang tatanggap. Kasi kung tayo ay mag-shooting the moon and the stars just to be at par with our counterparts in the world, hindi naman yun yung kailangan. Kaya nga technology appropriateness eh. So I think that should also be the mindset of our developers. Para saan ba yung dinidevelop mo in the first place? Para lang may isama mo na, kaya ko din mag-produce ng ganyan. So I think we really need to strengthen our partnership with the academe, the industry, who I said is we should be treating them as our extension agents because they should be the ones selling our technology, not us. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Brown, hindi tayo nagbebenta, prototyping tayo, verification and partnership with our collaborators, with the industry. And of course, we should be really looking at the grassroots level. What is needed? What is the appropriate technology required? And then let's answer the needs. Let's answer the issues. And then with our industry partners, kagaya namin, technology. So kaagad kami ay meron kaming manufacturing group na, sa halika, partner tayo. Tapos titingnan natin kung it would be a very good point for them for their business venture. And to think na nandun pa rin tayo, the glorious days of UPLB, na pag ang technology is coming from UPLB, then that must be good. So we are ensuring everyone that what we produce is of good quality, high quality. Ang problema nga lang, nandun sa dulo ng value chain, kung paano siya talaga makakarating. So maybe that's a challenge to all of us, not only our administrators, but also us as faculty members and as administrators dito sa lower level. Siguro we really need to strengthen that. Dami ko na nasabi. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dean Rose, Dean Mendoza, and Dr. Brown. So I think on our level in the academe, no, we really need to revisit our policies. So sabi dito ng isang participant natin, may mga potential partnership na before, pero because of the processes and requirements and things to consider in putting up a partnership, so medyo dun nagkaka-problema, no? And I think it's very timely that we have this kind of platform to discuss and really reflect, no, on what we're doing right now, ano yung mga gaps, ano yung mga challenges, so that we can come up with better solutions and really deliver yung ating pong mga technologies para sa ating mga kababayan. Now, for Dean Marlo Mendoza, may question dito regarding sa if Cfnr is also interested in tapping the potentials in food processing daw po of forest-based foods, fruits, and other non-timber products. And I think you would like this. They're asking, how can alumni invest in such? Unmute tayo, Dean.
Yeah, in the aspect of food security, we have to look beyond the traditional food sources natin. And remember, the uplands, half of the Philippines is upland. So yung potential, that's a very big potential growth area for food production. And so we have to look at non-traditional food sources. Ang dami nating sinasabi na non-timber forest products. Labong alone, China has been exporting a lot of their labong. We also have a lot of potential for that among hundreds. So we can work, but we have to work with the food science. We have to work with the other colleges. Because in developing a product, we don't have the monopoly of all of the technology and as what you need in the value chain. So we can only provide and have the competence on a particular part of the value chain. But by working together with other colleges, I think, yeah, we can do that. There's a huge potential. Uplands, kalahati ng Pilipinas yan, undeveloped. So, yes, I agree.
Thank you, Prof. Mendoza. And it was seconded by our Vice Chair for this webinar series, Dr. Shalito Habito, saying that we really need our R&D to be demand-driven. And I would like to acknowledge the presence. We have here former Chancellor Ruben Villarreal. And I think meron siyang tanong sa ating panelists. So we'll just give way. Chancellor Villarreal, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
You can shoot now your questions to our panelists.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you very much for your recognition. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dean Mendoza and Dean Amongo. Hindi ko na sila napadalhan ng bati at hindi ko napunta sa opisina nila because of pandemic. Pero huliman daw at magaling ay hahabol din. So congratulations for your appointment as new deans. Ngayon, I have met Dr. Brown occasionally pagka nagpupunta ako sa Institute of Microbiology nung pwede pa, pero ngayon hindi na rin pwede. At any rate, congratulations also for your well-prepared paper, and I think that is what we need, especially at this time of pandemic. Ngayon, ito naman yung aking simpleng sharing. There was a question kung paano ang dapat gawin. And my experience simply tells me that you talk to the industry, ask them what they need. And I would like to write a few stories. Noong unang panahon, hindi pa siguro kayo pinapanganak, nang mag-establish yung RAM food products, yung kanilang presidente, ay medyo kakilala ko. So ang tanong ko, Brad, ano ba ang kailangan mo? So we discussed, sabi niya, Brad, ito ang kailangan ko. sa kamatis. So, as far as tomato is concerned, na-identify na namin kung anong variety yung dapat ma-develop at kung anong germplasm ang kailangan tignan ko. So, in the first place, nalaman ko na kung ano ang dapat gawin. Ngayon, when I went to Taiwan, I also dealt with the industry. And similarly, the industry indicated to me, if you need your materials to be used by our factory, these are the following traits that we need in the tomato that you will develop. So, ganun ang ginawa namin. Alright, what I'm trying to say is that ang pinakamaganda kung talagang gusto ninyong magamit ang inyong produkto, you deal with the potential client. But of course, it does not stop you to do some basic research for the sake of research and for the sake of knowing better things on how to deliver the particular product. Sa madaling salita, kung kayo ay merong gustong gawin, it would be better if you deal with the industry, if your interest is for your products to be utilized. But kung ang gusto naman ninyo basic research, it is not necessary that you deal with the industry. Pagkat gamitin na ninyo ang inyong utak na pinagkaloob ng mahal na Panginoon at ang inyong mga pinag-aralan sa inyong mga kolehiyong inyong pinagdilbasaan. So those are the comments that I would like to relay to the excellent team who presented excellent products of their activities here at the University of the Philippines, Los Baños. Marami pong salamat sa ulitin.
Thank you, former Chancellor Dr. Ruben Villarreal. So I think itong ating UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit is really very important, and I think a nice initiative na ginawa po ng ating UPLB Alumni Association and together with the UPLB administration to reestablish this kind of linkage, no, para hindi detach yung ating ginagawa sa academe ng ating mga researchers and extension specialists, ating mga faculty dun sa pangangailangan in the different sectors that we are actually helping. There's a question here that we would like to entertain coming from our overall chair of the UPLB Alumni-Industry Summit, Doc Resty.
Maraming salamat, RJ. Una-una po, gusto ko magpasalamat sa tatlong presenters. You really did a good job. Second, I would like to congratulate Dr. Marilyn Brown for the renewal of her appointment yesterday, approved by the BOR. I cannot agree more sa mga sinabi nila na talagang kailangan natin magkaroon ng linkage between UPLB and the industry. And probably we alumni can only be the intermediators. Kami yung parang mamamagitan doon sa dalawa. And I would like to reiterate that this undertaking will not end tomorrow. We will have the summit tomorrow to culminate the series of webinars that we have been conducting for the past weeks. But it is only the start of what we need to do more. We just lay down the framework, but the real action will take after the summit tomorrow. And here are some of the plans that we in the alumni, together with the UPLB-AA President Manny Baradas, the Office of the Alumni Relations of Dr. Mamino, and of course, with the blessing and support of the Office of the Chancellor, our dear Chancellor Camacho. Una-una po, I think we will initiate a convocation among all the key players in the university so that we can formulate yung sinasabi ni Dean Amongo that we should have a common protocol and policies on how to do the commercialization of our products. Tama po si Dr. Brown, they are researchers, they are not salespeople. At tama din po si Dean Amongo na talagang ang hirap humanap. So, yun po ang gagawin namin. Now, the next one is, and this will be the second part of this webinar series, we will have an investment forum specific to each college that will be producing technology. For example, the engineers, those people selling machinery outside. There is I think when I was in the DA, there was a big group of machinery dealers. I think we will convene that And the main convener will be the College of Engineering and Agricultural Technology. This will be an investment forum wherein SEAT will present the array of their research agenda, the array of the available research that can be commercialized, and also to address that sinabi po ni Chancellor Villarreal na demand-driven, end-user-driven. The planning here, when we culminate that will be bottom-up. Ang planning po natin, not top-down, is bottom-up. Or perhaps we can combine the two. Dito po magkakaroon tayo ng specific investment forum for biotech. Yun lang pong yung mga products ng biotech, I think it will consume the whole one day or half a day na forum po natin. So Dr. Brown, probably this is a hint for you to organize your team in the biotech. I-prepare na ninyo yung menu na pwede natin i-present sa industry. Kumbaga, magkakaroon tayo ng showcase. Okay? And then we will let the industry react. Or probably we will get their feedback. And in the end, we will ask them, what do you need? Because marami pa kaming plano. Alin dito yung gusto ninyo ipagpatuloy namin? Alin dito yung palagay ninyo dapat namin i-modify? We need your guidance. Industry, guide us. Okay? We will have for biotech, engineering, forestry, the plant sciences, and the animal sciences. I think with that framework, magkakaroon po tayo ng panibagong another webinar series that we will be very happy to coordinate with the Office of the Chancellor and all the units of UPLB. And then, ito po importante, pinabanggit ko na nung nakaraang mga webinar natin na magkakaroon po tayo ng industry-led research agenda formulation. Kung po tayo kukuha ng basic macro framework, kung ano po yung talagang dapat natin tutukan dito sa UPLB so that, katulad ng sinabi ni Dean Mendoza, bago po tayo mag-umpisa, bago po natin approve ng isang research proposal, tingnan muna natin. Two things po, pwede natin pag-aralan dito. Feasible ba? Viable ba financially? Second is, kaya ba natin? Third is, papakinabangan ba? And fourth, makikinabang ba ang kabuuan ng ating mga mamamayan? That is our public. So yun po, ipapamanhin nyo na umagaw ako ng oras, pero gusto pong sabihin sa inyo na hindi po talaga magtatapos dito ang ating pag-uugnayan. We are very happy that this was initiated, and by the way, I would like to thank National Scientist Emil Javier. Sa kanya po namin napulot yung karamihan ng mga ideas niya ating initiate dito. And as long as we have the support of the Chancellor's Office, and I think we have, as long as we have the participation of the key players in the different units, as demonstrated po dito mga nakarang webinar series natin, and especially today, makikita po natin na this is now the opportunity that we have been waiting for a long time. Ngayon pa lang po talaga nagkakaroon ng ganitong ugnayan ang alumni, industry, and UPLB. So again, I would like to assure you that the UPLB-AA under the leadership of Captain Manny Baradas will always be here to support and implement all the future-proofing agenda of our dear Chancellor. Yun lang po. Thank you po.
Thank you, Doc Resty. Exciting times in UPLB, you know. At least right now, aside from having this webinar series and tomorrow's event, may mga parating pa tayong activities that hindi lang siya basta activity, but it will generate more of collaboration and partnerships with our alumni and the industry. Sabi ni Sir Resty, we'll have an investors forum, and then we need to formulate din tayo ng research and development agenda in UPLB. So thank you, Doc Resty. Sabi ko nga ba, exciting times in UPLB. We are doing this amid pandemic, no? Ang ganda po nung na instead that we are na parang dapat wala tayong masyadong nagagawa dahil nga we are in the midst of pandemic, pero very active ang UPLB, very engaging po ang ating bawat isa in doing this things, no? Doc Rose, may tanong lang dito regarding sa benchmarking. How do you do daw yung benchmarking ng mga machinery designs against the commercially available products? Of course, may kinalaman din dito ang TTBDO, but how do you protect in terms of performance, cost efficiency, and regarding your licensing strategy? Or siguro mag-share lang po kayo ng inyong experience sa SEAT.
Okay, thank you for that question. Before I answer that, I would like to thank my tatay, Dean Villarreal, Chancellor Villarreal, for that congratulatory. Tatay, siya po ang una kong boss sa UPLB. So, thank you, Sir Ruben. And then, of course, nakita ko po si President Tali. Hindi ko nabati kanina, our SEAT AA President. Hi, Sir Tali. And ang tanong dito kasi ay paano kami nagbe-benchmarking. If you remember, I presented AMTech. So AMTech is the premier testing center. So walang pumupunta sa commercial stage na not passing through AMTech. And they have a huge data of the different specifications, performances. And these are, I think it's a public domain kasi dapat malaman ng tao na ito yung performance ng isa. So either it's a foreign, yung mga specifications naman ay nakikita mo din sa brochure, yung performance specifications. So when you do localization, basically, you are not copying. But instead, you are modifying. So modification, we don't start with zero. Just go edit 20 years, 25 years before you can come up with a new technology. Pero we started from what is available, what is in the market, and what is supposed to be being used by our end users, yung mga preferences. Kasi kaya malaki yung term sa amin na technology appropriateness because the machine which could be used for rice might not be used for corn or other agricultural crops at all kahit itatanim mo siya doon sa parehong area with the same environmental conditions. So we do benchmarking. We collaborate with AMTech and we collaborate with our machinery partners. Yung sabi ni Sir Resty kanina, yun po yung AMDA po ang tawag natin, Sir Resty, yung Agricultural Machinery Manufacturers and Distributors Association of the Philippines, which comprises almost 20% representation of the whole manufacturing industry in the Philippines. We have almost 400 of them in the whole Philippines, from small, medium to, of course, the big companies who are doing this dealership. Pagdating sa manufacturing, we don't have big manufacturers for machinery, agricultural machinery. So that is why we are doing the roadmap right now. So doon naman, tungkol naman doon sa protection ko. Dapat yun talaga ay role ni TTBDO. I hope they are hearing me right. We have initial collaborations na we do believe that our creation should stay with the creator. So ano mo yun pinaghirapan mo yun to come up. And we have different types of IPs. So madami sa amin utility models because we would like to modify and become and those technologies to be really appropriate for our end users. So yun yung ating that's how we do it. We partner with all our from our end user to our industry partners, and then for our protection, yun hindi siya very strong. Kasi yun nga sabi, nakita ko yung mga communications there that there is really a conflicting idea. Why? Because at the onset or at the start, we partner with them. And then, pag na-generate mo, supposed to be technology matured, you are ready to extend already. At the piloting stage, you are actually extending it, but you are doing the adaptability testing. And so, sasabihin sa ating in the past, itong bagong grupo ng TTBDO na, we are defying the law of IPs. Yan. Pero kailangan na ngayon na. Parang you would like to address in after 6 months, iba na ulit yung takbo ng mundo. You would like to address it outright. But then because of the so many nitty-gritties na protection, well, naiintindihan ko protection ko yon, protection ng university. But somehow there should be a linkage or there should be an agreement, there should be a protocol that all the end use, all the stakeholders should be on a win-win situation. Dapat walang nasa-sacrifice. Not the researcher, not the university, not the end user, not the industry partners. So, yun, haba na naman ulit ng sinabi ko. Pero ganun po namin ginagawa sa amin sa SEAT. Salamat.
Thank you din, Rose. Maraming salamat po for sharing that. Question for Dr. Brown. Ay tutuhugin ko na po itong dalawang tanong na ito at hindi ako masyado familiar at baka kayo pa ang makakasagot. No? Is Biotech's Acticon widely adopted by commercial plantation to control, let me know if tama yung pronunciation ko, Fusarium wilt of banana? And back-to-back question na po para diretso na, no? Has there been an assessment of the extent of use and effectiveness ng biotech technologies, particularly po yung Mycovam, for the National Greening Program? If any, what are the factors found to influence the success of the tech transfer?
Okay, thank you. For number 1, about Acticon. Yan, naririnig niya na. Yung Acticon kasi, nasa spin-off o kaya start-up production din. Ang bali may mga tao nag-i-start na to produce the Acticon. That means, nakita na effective yun. So, DOST at ang nagbibigay ng funds for the spinning off of the, and then for number 2, yung National Greening Project. But parang naalala ko kasi, they are just buying from Biotech yung Microbial for the greening projects. I think Professor Marlo Mendoza can answer kasi hindi na kami yung nag-assess. Basta ang alam namin ay hanggang ngayon ay ang daming nag-order ng Microbial. So I think na nakita nila yung effect talaga. But first-hand experience ito si Dr. Marlo. Di ba sir, pinagbili namin, magkano ba yun? Basta malaki. Hindi may problema pa nga ata yung hindi namin. Bibili nga sana namin isang building yung pinagbilhan namin ng Microbial. Parang may problema. Sir, can you answer that one? So hindi namin na-assess yung National Greening Project. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. So when I was, thank you, Dr. Brown. When I was with the DNR, I really recommended for the use of Biotech's Mycovam.
Microbial, yeah.
And yeah, we were given a budget for that. And it's Mycovam, kasi I also used it personally. And the plan was to inoculate all seedlings planted under the National Greening Program. I was the first national program coordinator of the NGP. And technology is a very important component of the program that will increase the survival rate, and it's very cost effective. Unlike on commercial fertilizer, you have to apply probably every year or depending on the soil quality. With this Mycovam, you apply it once. Of course, there are many challenges aside from ameliorating the soil. Maraming challenges like forest fires, being grazed. But in terms of effectiveness of Mycovam, initially when I was there, yeah, it was effective. But I believe ERDB also conducted long-term research on this. And Doc Brown, I think it would be nice to do longitudinal studies. And there are many plantations, also private, that I know are using Mycovam, mycorrhiza. And we in the College of Forestry, I think we're one of the pioneers sa biotech working with on these inoculants. The Dr. Ray de la Cruz, Dr. Asimam Ched Garcia, and we still have faculty here who are very much involved. And kaya naman sila na-inspire, nakikita nila yung multiple benefits talaga. Very, very applicable for our local farmers. Very cost-effective and one-time application. So, yun ang suggestion ko rin, ma'am, we do more studies, but yung initial studies, it's effective.
So, thank you, sir. Ikaw na ang sumagot. Ikaw na yung So, siyempre effective yan kasi until now, hindi nga namin kaya mag-produce during pandemic kasi hindi namin maibigay lahat. Sa BAMRI, may utang nga akong 9 na tonelada. So, yun ang sinasabi ko, marami kami, hindi namin trabaho dapat yun, but buti na lang yung bio-N, hindi nga namin trabaho, but we have to train personnel who will handle the inoculant production right now. Meron nga kaming 84 na, parang bumalik ako dun sa tanong kanina. So yun naman sinabi ni Dr. Villarreal na should be demand-driven. So yung demand na yan ay since in answer to, ang galing nga natin parang answer sa climate change na yun we have to rehabilitate or reforest or hindi lang for agricultural use din yung ating mga Philippines. So tayo nga yung walang source kasi ng energy, yung ano ba yan? Yun yung sinasabi ko na wala tayong fuel. So we have to maghanap ng alternative source talaga. And then adaldal ako pero importante kasi yung mga sinasabi ko. And then, alam niyo ba na ang biotech ay nitrogen fixation and mycorrhiza program lang yung program. And then later on, kailangan pala natin ng complete fertilizer. So we have to do more research on potassium, the phosphate solubilizing. So nakikita niyo ang daming yung aming mga inoculants na, but we assure you that yung ilalabas ay puro compatible with yung una pang na-produce. So alam niyo naman, complete fertilizer na ngayon, hindi lang nitrogen and mycorrhiza program. So yun naman, demand-driven pati. Alam namin ang demand-driven ngayon, kaya lang ayaw kaming bigyan ng pera. So we have to use our project funds. Yung ASF, mga ganyan, viral diseases. So we just use our income to start yung demand-driven na mga So yun. Parang dynamic, parang araw-araw namin tinitignan talaga ang problema ng Pilipinas and then continuously asking funding for other agencies din. Kung makita naman talaga nila na. So I hope na yung mga nade-develop namin na napakarami, I need your help, lalo itong Alumni Association na to. Kasi hindi namin trabaho, sir. Binigyan kami ng napakalaking pera, we have to develop this inoculant. Alangan naman konsensya namin yan pag hindi namin may ipagbili. Thank you very much again. Thank you talaga.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Talagang we really need to talk. Ayan. Let's have a dialogue. Let's have conversations like this so we can really come up with a unified force or a collective action in the needs that kailangan natin address sa panahon natin ngayon as a UPLB community. And may suggestion nga dito, one of our participants, sabi niya, if UPLB could come up with a compendium or book or material wherein UPLB has successfully transferred to the private sector so that we can document these success stories which can guide future UPLB researchers and administrators in promoting UPLB developed technologies. Pwede siyang gawing project din po natin. Babalikan ko si Dean Marlo. There's a question here bago ko po i-entertain ang question from our the president of SEAT Alumni Association. Baka kay Dean Rose yun, kaya mag-ready na kayo. So, Dean Marlo, there's a question. Can CFNR suggest any plans or policies that could be implemented into law? So, medyo may kinalaman sa mga polisiya in terms of real estate development, wherein mabalance yung ecosystem, the ecosystem can still be maintained, meaning planting trees as part of the requirements prior for real estate development, since most of the agricultural lands or forest areas are now being converted to real estate and industries. Any suggestions coming from the College of Forestry and Natural Resources in terms of policy on this one? Dean, can you unmute Dean Mendoza?
Thank you for the question. Kami nga dito sa profession namin, more than 20 years na yung Sustainable Forest Management Bill, hindi pa rin napapasa. So yung question na yan is about the National Land Use Bill, hindi pa rin napapasa. So it's really very important to have these bills passed kasi it will lay the foundation in proper zoning of our lands. Without a law like that, you become very subjective in your land classification. So if you have a proper zoning, and then it's only by act of Congress that you can change that classification of land, then it will be very difficult to just be subjective. But right now, that's what's happening. Every time you have a new mayor, nakikita niya na kasi may under the local government code, you can reclassify a certain percentage of your land. That's very dangerous for us. Even mga prime agricultural lands, we have an HLURB provision that a certain percentage of your residence or mga subdivision should be allocated for open spaces. It's not being followed. So I think we need really a stronger law, no? which will touch on zoning and very strictly enforce mga provisions, no, on what can be allowed on a particular piece of land. Like ngayon, we have set-asides. A set-aside is like a protected area. If it's not legislated, may threat pa rin na ma-convert yung magamit sa ibang use. So it's the same principle. So we need a really strong arm of the law. Yung National Land Use Bill natin, tsaka yung Sustainable Forest Management Bill, kailangan mapasa. And I think the college has to play a more proactive role. And I discussed that yesterday with the Association of Forestry Schools in the Philippines. There are 34 forestry schools. So I was asking them, siguro pagtulungan natin ito yung mga foundation that we really have to ensure, no, is in place. Kasi if not, a lot of things will be subjective and arbitrary.
Thank you din, Marlo. So parang dapat hindi lang academe, alumni, and then industry, pati ating government, meron na ring summit. So really, para holistic yung ating approach in this endeavor. No po. Thank you din, Marlo. So I think we're running out of time, but we will entertain one more question. But before I shoot it to our SAYAT AA President, Dr. Brown, Dr. Rose, and Prof. Marlo, our participants are asking if you are willing to share your PowerPoint presentations.
Okay. Can we share it?
Is it okay?
Yeah, I think there's nothing proprietary naman doon, and one of our mandate is extension and public service. If it will help a lot of it will help disseminate and create awareness, I think. Unless I have colleagues here also watching, baka they have other opinion. But as far as I see, wala namang proprietary doon sa lagyan namin sa PowerPoint.
I think it should be the OAR na ito. So,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, i-upload po na lang natin po.
So I think it's the OAR or yung...
Yes, ma'am. I-ano lang po natin sa website po natin para po protected din siya.
Yeah.
Yes.
Website po natin. Apo.
Para protected din ang inyong intellectual property.
Yes. I-ano din natin.
Pero I would just want to, can I just clarify? In fairness naman to our faculty and researchers who developed the technology, I think it was not properly cited in our PowerPoint. Baka maganda din give us time
talagang yun yung
para yung
in-emphasize
proper
ko.
citation could be done. Siguro
Okay.
wag mo na. I-cite na lang namin properly. Then we'll give it to
I put there the
Yes,
developers so that you can ask them directly. Kasi hindi ko
Yes.
naman kayang sagutin lahat yung mga dinevelop nila.
That's right. Ganun din ako.
I only know the technology, pero nitty-gritties of it, you can always contact the developers.
Yes po. Lalagay na rin po naman natin doon yung mga contact numbers po. Thank you po.
So wag mo na siguro, no? I'll give it back to so
Yes,
we can put the proper citation. Thank you very much.
Ang
Dr. Brown?
Ang biotech naman kasi, kaya may gusto namin ipakalat yan to market nga our developed technologies. So may mga status na nakalagay din dun sa And then, binigay na nila sa director na yun na yung i-contact kung may So may lang naman yun, parang market strategy. Ipakita na meron kami. So,
Yeah.
thank you very much.
Dissemination po, ma'am. Di ba?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's information drive. Information
Parang
dissemination.
na yun.
Okay, so I think with that, for those who would like to have a copy of the presentations, or maybe Doc Rose, Prof. Marlo, and Dr. Brown can share a lot of information regarding their technologies, you can contact the Office of Alumni Relations for this purpose through their email. So it's oar.uplb@up.edu.ph. Again, it's oar.uplb@up.edu.ph. So okay, so right now I'm giving way for our last question. I think yung mga hindi po namin nasagot na tanong po ninyo, and a lot of them also gave suggestions, pwede rin nyo pong i-email sa Office of Alumni Relations. But right now, I'm giving way for SAYAT AA President Pantaleon Tabanaw for our last question for our panelists.
Yeah, thank you, Ryan. I just want to have a comment relative to this particular topic today. I agree with Dr. Villarreal that the academe or the research, for that matter, should also ask the industries what their needs are. But I also would like to raise this, that it is also imperative that the academe should be responsive to any event that is highly critical to the industry. I raised this issue last week where the main topic was what UPLB can offer. And this has something to do with the African swine fever. We know that the African swine fever has wreaked havoc to the swine industries that lead to the rise of the meat products. Now, Dr. Brown mentioned about animal vaccines. Now, have we turned our effort to what we can do to solve the African swine fever? Now, I would like to mention other comment that I have. Now, Dr. Padulina and myself were together when we were asked to be a member of the think tank under President Marcos, Ferdinand Marcos. And we were mentioning about bioengineering, genetic engineering, and all engineering aspects. And apparently, the way I see it, that there seems to be highly compartmentalized among the colleges. Why not open up? I am raising this to SIAT. Why not the other colleges who are in forest engineering, like Forest Product Research and Development Institute? I used to be consulting with Dr. Bilio, who used to be the director of that, and even Dr. Flor Tesoro, who headed this agency, and even the Ecosystem Research and Development Bureau. I still don't know why there is no collaborative effort between these various agencies. I don't know why until now there is no collaborative effort relative to engineering sciences. This is mentioned by the various agencies. So in this regard, I would like to ask Dr. Brown relative to the vaccines that was developed. And I would like also to ask Dean Amongo relative to the technologies. She mentioned about the various steps until commercialization. Now, I don't know what like, for example, Dr. Brown, what technologies are already commercialized and what technologies in SIAT that are already commercialized. Now, also, I would like to direct this question to Dr. Mendoza of the Cfnr. What I knew, I don't know whether I'm right, I am correct, that Baliti is a family tree of rubber. Am I right, Dr. Mendoza?
Sir, I have a taxonomist, a multi-awarded taxonomist na nandito, tsaka they doing genetic studies. I would defer that question to them.
Because
if Dr. Maldia here and Dr. Pampolina sa FBS, we have a department specializing in that, sir. We do genetic barcoding and genetic sige mga faculty namin sa FBS.
Because the main reason why I raised that question, because the late Professor Kimbo, of the College of Forestry, we were very close friends, and he mentioned about that Baliti is a family tree. I don't know whether he was right. But, I came from Cebu, and the mountain range in Cebu is mabato, maraming boulders. And Baliti grows well under harsh condition. Why grow rubber tree in this area? That if at all rubber trees can be considered as a family of baliti. So these are all the comments that I have raised today, just to find out how open we are as far as the various colleges of the university relative to engineering, to biological sciences, and all of these various colleges. Thank you.
Sir, may I add
Go, Dr. Brown.
about yung pest management ng yung animal, ganyan, may create akong program this year to ang una kasi nagsosource ako ng funds for the ASF. Kasi 2016 pa naman yun, may problema na. I don't know kung bakit, ini-endorse naman ng UPLB yan, but at the upper, hindi sila nagbibigay. So we just use our money from the income to start this project para may makita na silang and then maybe we can tap the yun. Lumalapit naman kami sa mga election kasi ngayon hindi kami makalapit just to seek pera. May collaboration kami siyempre sa animal science, lahat namin. So we also nagkonsulta rin kami sa abroad, so may hina-hire kami na to help us. Ngayon ay for proposal and then assessment. So, ang in charge ngayon ay yung si Miss Collado. Miss, ba yun? Hindi ko alam kung paano ni Sir yun. Collado, kapangalan niya, Crisantinong Collado. Siya na ang in charge ngayon para ipilit namin na makakuha talaga ng funds kasi may mga facilities naman kaming dadating to, for animal health management, including yung swine flu kasi pag hindi natin tututukan yun, patay. Kahit after 3 years, pag nandyan pa rin yung virus, kahit wala ng pig, pag ka ulit. Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Basta, yung mga vaccine, tututukan namin, especially ngayon, patapos na yung pandemic, magagamit na rin namin yung building namin na parang virus,
You know, I'm quite surprised kasi because I am aware of what UP Mindanao is doing. You know, it came out from Wuhan about this pandemic, this COVID-19 pandemic, that the source of the virus accordingly is, aywan ko kung anong yung bats, yung bird na bats sa Tagalog yun?
Paniki.
Paniki. Anyway, the guy who is spearheading this research in UP Mindanao ay actually inaanak ko sa binyag. Si Dr. Philip
Padilla.
Dr. Philip, the father died of accident. I think a professor of the Institute of Biological Science.
Dr. Philip Alviola?
Yeah, Dr. Philip Alviola. He is my godson. Ako ang nag-anak niyan sa binyag because the father is also, the couple are from the Visayas region. He is spearheading a research, if at all, the coronavirus comes from paniki. Ginagawa niya ngayon yon. I've heard of that. I was informed fully by his mother, and I don't know why in the University of the Philippines, Los Baños, which is I consider the
Iconic university.
number one state university in the country, why we have not been doing about this African swine fever. Wala talaga akong naririnig and yet it wreaks havoc to the swine industry. Billions of pesos lost, and the fact that even the Mindanao and the Visayas region are supplying meat products to the NCR here in Metro Manila just to augment the supply of meat here in Luzon. Wala pa rin eh. Bakit wala tayong ginagawa? Yun ang hindi ko maintindihan.
Sir, walang pondo.
Hindi yun. I do not agree with that. Because
Sir Brown, Ma'am Brown, ha? Lagi kang walang pondo.
hindi ako naniniwala diyan. I would like to comment on that because
Nantahan na namin lahat ng tao para ano na talaga, alam niyo lang pag ako naglalakad.
okay, let me comment on that because the pondo, of course, we have to submit our budget to, for example, to the Secretary of Agriculture to prepare all those budget. Now, if the Secretary of Agriculture doesn't do anything about the required funding that we need, how can we have this budget? I think it's up to us to submit to him kung ano yung budgetary requirement natin and then let him act. Ngayon, kung wala tayong pondo, then something is wrong with the communication between the Department of Agriculture and the academy. That's how I see it, because during my time when I requested for funding or my research when I was with the Institute of Agricultural Engineering, I had all the budget that I need. Even in my thesis research, it was the Ford Foundation that supports my thesis research. So I don't know why we still complain of lack of funding. I think it has something to do with the communications between the academy and the agency that should provide us the funding. That's how I see it. Thank you.
I will let Dr. Brown to respond then. Dean Rose will going to answer the other question of our SAYAT AA president. Dr. Brown would like to comment on the statement of President Tabanaw. Yes po.
Yeah.
Sir, nung wala kami nakuha, bali nag-aside na ako ng 10 million to focus on animal health, including yung swine flu. So sabi ko kanina, kung ma-free na yung COVID, meron kasi kaming building na fitted for this research for viral ganyan. So medyo nag-stop lang ako kasi hindi pa naman ako appointed as director. Tumigil muna kaming maglakad. Alam niyo ba sir, nagagalugad namin kahit Senado, ang hindi ko pala napuntahan. Yung nailabas na. Kanyang. So, pag siguro, we will try to work again kasi talagang problema yung mga viral disease, and then we ask the assistance of mga tao sa animal science. Lahat, in-involve na namin yan. So, don't worry, sir. Masipag pa naman kaming maglakad. But please help us also kung may mga contact persons kayo to, aywan ko kay Dr. Habito kung nandyan. So, just to push din yung mga ganyan. Hindi ko alam kung bakit kami sabi nila priority kami, and then later after mga 6 months. Pero ang gusto ko kasi ipapadaan sa FI, so I also asked the permission of Dr. Sepangco, and he was the one endorse our proposal for ASF. Pero ang problema yan sir, baka hindi na tayo kasi affected din ako yan kasi 200 na baboy namin dinali ng yan swine flu, and then lahat alam ko yan. So that was 2017 pa. Until now, 4 years na, baka ubos na, pati mga langgam siguro doon. Thank you very much, sir. Alam niyo yung so yung sinasabi kong demand-driven, pero depende pa rin sa funding agencies. Kung noon kayo nabuhay, madali, pupunta lang si Dr. Javier at si Dr. Padrina, so may mga connection. Ako naman, medyo kahit ganito ako, talagang pumupunta ako talaga, sir, sa Senado, ganyan. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Dr. Brown. Dr. Rose?
Yeah, so thank you for the question. Thank you, President Ali. FYI po. Okay, FYI. Yung Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering, isa sa kanyang mga major fields of specialization supposed to be is forest products engineering. So it so happened, siguro during the revisions, although part na ako ng revisions, upon the enactment of our ABE law, in 2016, na-emphasize talaga na yung forest products engineering should be one of the field of expertise of an ABE or Agricultural and Biosystems Engineer. Before, meron pang subject si Sir Marlo na Forest Products Engineering. I know there is still, the courses are still existing, pero nawala nga po yung connection ng dalawa. Before, we have students coming from forestry who would like to venture into forest products engineering and taking our basic and fundamentals engineering courses just to appreciate yung ating forest products engineering component ng forestry. So we have a commonality, we have a common ground, and we have when BC Paras was our institute director, there was an initiative between the Institute of Agricultural and Biosystems Engineering and the College of Forestry to revive yung ating composition and to include, strengthen yung ating forest products engineering. Remember, ang sakop man ng Agricultural and Biosystems Engineer ay hanggang dun sa agroforestry. We are making from 8 to 15% or more na slope. So nandun din yung action ng ating mga engineers. But of course, sabi ko nga, mas naiintindihan ng mga foresters yung nandun sa portion na mas mataas. So I think what we can really do is we have already initiated, we have already started. So again, this should be strengthened in our collaboration with Cfnr by integrating the forest products engineering component. Sila po yung pwedeng mag-offer in collaboration mga So ayun na lang po yun. So hindi po siya, natulog lang po. Minsan nakakatulog ba? So we need to wake it up. So I think parati kami nag-uusap ni din Marlo yung pwedeng venture ni SEAT tsaka ni Cfnr. Yes. With regards po dun sa technology commercialization naman, of course there are some of our technologies mabibilang ko sa aking kamay yung mga nandun talaga na adapted by our industry partners. Doon sa pinakita ko kanina na process flow, most of our technology ay nandun sa technology adaptation. So nandun sa piloting stage, and then some reaches industrial extension. So this is where we usually get our collaborating partners. Sabi nga ni Ma'am Brown, hindi kami magbebenta ng technology. Ang magbebenta dapat ay yung ating partners. But of course, we are still there until we realize our goal that our technologies reaches the end user. So nakikita ko po kasi dun sa chain na yon, pagdating sa adaptability, very good, may nag-adapt. Tumigil na yung role natin. Yung sa technology adaptation and adoption, hinahayaan na natin na, o sige, adapt mo o hindi mo i-adapt. Kasi tapos na ang funding ko, o babalik ako dun sa funding. Sabi ni Ma'am Brown, tapos na ang funding ko, paano ako pupunta sa Mindanao? Kung nandun yung aking kakolaborate. Wala na akong pera eh. So, yun siguro, even our funding agencies, I don't know, if they can really look into the whole value chain, although I know DOST is putting their 6 Ps. So, sino yung iyong kakolaborate? Pero hindi siya factured. I think yun. So dapat si researcher, kahit hindi siya yung nag-e-extend, somebody is to pick it up and to be extended, yung researcher, parati mo siyang binabalikan para nakikita din niya how successful yung kanyang na-develop na technology. So pag dinisect mo siya talaga, there are so many things that we can do. Kasi yung sa extension part, industry partners yan. And if I did not include my industry partner at the very onset of my development, mahihirapan ako maghanap ng industry partner to pick it up. So you see, so which is usually yung traditional practice ba yun? Magpo-propose, may naisip, may a-addressan. O tapos, later part mo i-involve yung industry partner mo, yung wala na siyang masasabi kung ano yung gagawin mo sa design mo or sa technology mo, mahihirapan na ipipick up yun ng industry. So even our modalities, siguro, we check it out. Our industry collaboration, we check it out. Kasi pag wala na kaming pondo, sa kami ni Ma'am Brown, sa ni Doc Marlo, ay tigil putukan na yan. Mabuhay siya o hindi siya mabuhay, ay basta ako na researcher, nag-develop ka na yan. And even our accreditation system, you see, ilan ba yung nag-benefit dyan sa technology mo? Kasi tayo ngayon, ilan ba na-publish mo? So, yung recognition of the effort of the developers, siguro mas magandang system na pag-recognize naman sa amin, sa mga, I'm one of the developers, na para yung compensation ba, hindi ako naghahanap ng, sige, anuhan mo ako, compensate mo ako, o bigyan mo ako ng recognition. I would be more interested of my technology reaching my end user using that platform of technology generation and addressing all the issues in betweens, which I think the academe and the industry partners, tama kayo, yung putting up an industry-led research agenda formulation, I think we can trash it out there. So, madami kaming technology na naka-reach. Kasi yun, may pera, either supported by foreign projects, etc., etc. Pero yung mga gusto ni farmers na makarating sa kanya, outright, participatory, siya, wala akong industry partner. Sinong magpupundo? Sa ibang bansa, tama po yun, na ang mga industries are putting so much funding for coming up with these technologies. Kasi kita din sila. Pag nag-technology commercialization ka na, dami nilang kakatain. So, ayan, dami ko na naman nasabi. So,
Thank you, Doc Rose. I think we need another webinar for this one. But we're actually running out of time. Siguro basahin ko lang po yung ilan sa mga comments. So, sabi po ni Sir Dan Aquino. Yes, Sir Marlo.
Very quick lang, rejoinder lang yung we really recognize the need to work very closely together, mga different colleges and mga institutes. Like kami, sa College of Forestry, sa aspect ng structural engineered wood product. If we'll do it on our own, magagawa naman namin yan. Pero it will take a lot of time. And we will be reinventing some components of the wheel. No? So, but by working with SEAT and other colleges, mas-shorten natin eh. And we'll have sharing of resources. And the idea of one faculty can be built upon by another faculty, di ba? So, mas yung synergy na sinasabi natin, napakalaking napakalaking impact. In fact, one of the lessons I've learned when I was with the government is hindi talaga nag-uusap yung maraming mga departments. Kaya yung mga problema nandyan. By just talking together, without putting any additional investment, just sitting together, planning together, budgeting together, will make a lot of wonders already. So that's true also dito sa college. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Marlo. Yun nga, so I think na-highlight, no? Let's talk, let's sit down, let's have a dialogue and make conversations, and we can produce a lot of things, no, for our nation. Siguro before we actually finish this last part of our program, sabi lang po ni Sir Dante Aquino, may ginagawa rin daw po ang Vet Science, Institute of Veterinary Science, with regards to the ASF pandemic. Si Dr. Nelson Pampolina, sabi po yung some local name for balete is ficus tree. The rubber tree I'm referring to is the para rubber, which is a source of material for rubber production. Nabanggit ko lang po. And then, paundo po ba ang hanap nyo, Dr. Brown? Sabi po ni Dr. Habito, Dr. EQJ and Dr. Habito will raise this with Secretary Dar. Getting the impression that BAI wants to do everything by itself. They have an ample budget for ASF. So I think this is a good example na raise natin. So they will brought this out to the upper leadership of DA. So expect funding daw. We're hoping for that one.
Thank you very much. Patulong.
Yan po. So I think we are actually running out of time. So on that note, maraming salamat po, Dr. Brown, Dean Mendoza, and Dean Amongo. For our participants, the evaluation link will be shared later at the end of the webinar, those who are asking for that. And you need to accomplish that eval link to receive your e-certificates. And we're also requesting everyone to please remain until the end of the program for our photo op. No? But right now, please join me in, of course, awarding the Certificate of Appreciation to our panelists today. So ipapakita natin sa screen yung content of our e-certificates. I'm going to read the content. So University of the Philippines, Los Baños, Certificate of Appreciation. So this certificate is presented to for sharing your valuable knowledge as panelists during the Academe-Alumni-Industry Linkages, what UPLB can offer webinar held on November 5, 2021 via Zoom. Signed by Dr. Rex L. Navarro, webinar series chair, and Dr. Eileen Mamino, OER director, and co-overall chair of the UPLB Industry Summit 2021. So this certificate is presented to first to Dr. Marilyn Brown. Can we give Dr. Marilyn Brown a virtual clap or virtual applause? Thank you, Dr. Brown. We would like also to thank and present the certificate to Professor Dean Marlo Mendoza of Cfnr. Thank you, sir. And the last one, this certificate is also presented to Dr. Rose Amongo from SEA. Thank you very much for your time. I think we should do this more often. Very reflexive, very participative, and interactive yung atin pong knowledge sharing. You get the different perspectives from the academe, from our alumni, and even for our industry partners to really sit down and actually talk about how can we collaborate with one another in advancing the welfare of our kababayans, and syempre, at the end of the day, in nation building. So I think at this juncture, there's someone that will help us to really capture the entirety of our webinar today. So may I call on now our rapporteur, Dr. Maria Claret L. Tsuchiya, for the synthesis.
Yes, good morning, everyone. I agree with you, Prof. RJ Galang, that today we indeed learned a lot about UPLB's 3 excellence institutions, and we have had a very participative and excellent interaction between the alumni, our audience, and from our expert researchers. So let me just synthesize what just happened today. We have heard from 3 excellent institutions of UPLB, showcasing their excellent programs, technologies, and products. So we have heard from Biotech, National Institute of Molecular Biology and Biotechnology, the UPLB College of Forestry and Natural Resources, and the College of Engineering and Agro-Industrial Technology. Looking at the visions, missions, and mandates of these 3 institutions, hindi po nagkakaiba. They have very similar objectives in the sense that they all pursue excellence and in the field of forestry and natural resources and engineering to produce graduates who are excellent and experts responsible in the field of natural resources, engineers with highest technical capabilities, entrepreneurial and networking skills. And through the very strong research and development programs, the laboratories of biotech, the different programs of SEAT and of Cfnr, and the policy initiatives of everyone, and they were able to develop a lot of innovative technologies, products, and enterprise management. And again, all these 3 excellent institutions serve, or rather, the use of these products and outcomes are for use in agriculture, forestry, energy, and other for the Filipino people. Okay. One of the highlights of their presentations are definitely, we saw a lot of developed technologies and products. Nakakatuwa po, no? If you have heard from our 3 directors and deans, the term biotechnologies, tatak SEAT, tatak UPLB, and Cfnr's innovative technologies. to refresh our minds on what are the products and technologies that UPLB has in store for the alumni and the industry. I know there are a lot of text words here, but I just want to say to everyone that we have a lot of this. So I think we will just focus probably on this, that we have a lot of products and technologies for agriculture, forestry, food, feed, and to just name a few, the bio and fertilizers, the VAMRI, the Acticon, the protein-enriched copramil, the rennet coagulant, the natural colorants, and other products for developed by the biotech. In forestry and natural resources, there are a lot of products and biotechnology as well for biodiversity assessment, tree breeding, nursery operations, wood and non-timber forest products. You can actually, they are indeed a lot of products, wood and TFPs. Sorry, there's a typo error here because I got a lot of words from them. Wood preservation, but pwede na rin pong wood reservation. So on behalf of Cfnr, pwede na po kayo mag-reserve ng wood products. Pili na lang po kayo. They actually can sell probably. So just please ask at Cfnr. So they also do restoration of historical cultural buildings, assistance, and other services. Noteworthy are the innovative technologies such as the tissue culture of threatened indigenous species, the use of featherboard, yung that is comparable to the Hardiflex, tama po ba yun, no? And then the additive for the plywood glue mix and the Lahar guard. For the SEAT, there are also a lot of machineries, products, and technologies such as hand tractors and the use of smart irrigation, or rather smart and Internet of Things based technologies. For post-production machineries, there are also packages such as for corn processing, treatment for high-value crops, etc. They also cater to develop machines for fisheries, for seaweed production, or rather industry. And noteworthy also from SAIT is that in response to COVID-19, UPLB is really very active and engaged in response to the nation's problem, which is the COVID-19 situation now. So in summary, all the products and services of UPLB have the following strengths. We really need to recognize that these are locally sourced. We have experts in UPLB. The services are there. The technologies and the products are restorative and eco-friendly, especially the ones from biotech. The machineries from SEAT are cost-efficient, and all the services, products, and technologies mentioned are very effective and of quality. Regarding the challenges and needs, and during the open forum, we have some words here that we need to really think about. There is indeed a need to localize and commercialize the technologies mentioned, availability of industry partners to mass produce the technology for commercial success and sustainability. We need information dissemination efforts of these numerous technologies of UPLB, and we need to identify more product users and beneficiaries. And regarding the affordability of technologies, it's more of how can is this cost effective, and then for the interested companies. Definitely one of the highlights also of the open forum is that we need increased funding for, especially nowadays, for the RD activities and support for infrastructures. If we would have fundings from industries and from commercial ventures, then we can give funding for the continuation of the R&D activities of UPLB. One also very important to note is that we need to check and revive and to wake up, sabi nga po ni Dean Marlo and then Dean Amongo, to wake up the collaborations within UPLB programs that have similar objectives, similar end users, to more efficiently or to lessen the time for these R&D outcomes and to be presented to the community. Two last points here is that we can never underestimate the role of the government regarding standards, regulations, and especially the policies within the university and the laws of the government for us to move forward. And last but not the least, I got from the questions, or rather from the comments of our dear alumni and from the different sectors, is that I think we need to start looking at a UPLB industry council so that we have a structured process of technology transfer. In the end, we really need to support the university's technology generation or transfer and commercialization, and a way to make findings more socially relevant. So what can UPLB offer? This has been the theme of the past two webinar series. What can UPLB offer? I would like to throw this question to everyone. UPLB administration led by Chancellor Camacho, the staff, the reps, the faculty, the researchers, the students, and our dear alumni who have to play a crucial role linking UPLB to the industry, because at the end of the day, we are all UPLB, and we hope that the future is very, very near now to a stronger and broader industry alumni university collaborations, producing well-funded and well-supported demand-driven outcomes with major impacts contributing to a robust and future-proof nation. Magandang umaga po sa ating lahat, and mabuhay ang UPLB.
Thank you very much, Doc Lalet, for the synthesis of our webinar morning. And siguro po to officially, to formally end our program for this morning, may I call on the President of the UPLB Alumni Association, Captain Marlo Baradas. Captain Manny.
Okay. So, unang-una ho ay nagpapasalamat ako sa ating makikisig na speaker for the day. So, for the past few days, few weeks, na nag-umpisa tayo ng ating webinar, ang unang-unang napagkasunduan dito is isang katanungan. Saan pupunta ang ating graduates pagkatapos ng kanilang pagtatapos dito sa UPLB? So, ikalawa, ano ang magagawa ng alumni na pwedeng makakuha ng mga technology sa UPLB, or ano ang pwedeng ibigay ng UPLB sa mga alumni na gustong magnegosyo? So, umpisan ko po muna yung first two webinars natin. Una ay pinakita natin kung ano ang mga pinagmamalaki ng UPLB at ano ang pwedeng makuha ng mga alumni at paano natin may babalik ang isip ng ating mga graduates na o mga alumni na may magandang negosyo para bumalik sa university at makatulong. So yun doon nagpaikot yung ating sistema ng ating webinar. No? Diyan pangatlo, ito ng mga technology na ginagawa ng UPLB na pwede natin ipamahagi sa ating mga graduates o alumni na gustong magnegosyo. So umpisahan ko. Nung una, first few days, ating pinagmamalaki ang mga katangian ng ating mga academic level dito sa UPLB. Ngayon, ang naging number one problem natin is napakaraming mga estudyante. Ang graduate na dito sa atin ay wala pang trabaho, hindi makakuha. No? So compared to our days, we are talking of dekada 70. During that time, ang mga graduating student ay marami ng mga kumpanya nakaabang na sasaluhin nila pagka-graduate. No? So ngayon ay baligtad. Napakaraming graduates ngayon na hindi maalam kung saan magtatrabaho. So nauwi ang ating webinar doon sa mga alumni na may magandang negosyo na pagkatapos ng academic level ng ating mga estudyante ay pwede nating ipasok siya for a 6 months training. So that is the assurance na mas maganda kaysa mag-thesis kasi practical lang ang matutunan. And besides, the biggest portion is may chance sila na makuhanin ng kumpanya na kanilang pagtatrabahuan. So yun ang isang naging talakayan kung paano matutulungan ng mga alumni na may magandang negosyo na mag-on-the-job training ang ating mga graduating student. So, lately, napapansin natin na ang isang magandang katanungan, bakit mahirap maghanap ng trabaho ngayon? No? During our days, kapag kayo pumunta sa Mindanao, unang pupuntahan ay mga biggest plantation. Una, pineapple, Dole, and Del Monte. Ikalawa ay sagingan. Ikatlo ay yung mga rubber plantation. At lately ay ang African oil palm. So, during that time, ang pinakasiga at pinakasikat na graduate ay ang galing sa UP Los Baños. Lalo na kung ikay galing sa research, so pinapirate ka to head the research department. But ngayon ay napakahirap na kasi napakarami na ng state university sa buong Pilipinas at minsan nga inimbita natin ang sa Cagayan de Oro sa norte, yung Mariano Marcos. So, ang kanilang itinuturo ay halos yun din ang itinuturo natin sa UP Los Baños. So, yung mga estudyante, bakit pupunta pa sa Los Baños? Kahit sabihin natin na walang matrikula, pero magbabayad ka lang doon, magbabayad ka rin yung daily existence. No? Kung ikaw ay taga-Ilocos o Cagayan de Oro, doon ka na mag-aaral sa State University nila. So as of now, kapag ikaw umikot sa malalaking plantasyon, wala nang malalaking big shots na galing sa UPLB ang iyong ma-encounter yun. Lahat ay galing na sa local university. So although ang mga presidente ay galing dito sa UPLB, ay they must prepare na doon na lang mag-aaral sa kanilang university, sa kanilang probinsya. And that's the reason why kung bakit naubos na ang makikisig na UPLB graduate sa malalaking kumpanya ng saging, sa pineapple, at sa lahat ng mga plantasyon sa buong Mindanao. So ngayon, ang ating pinagbibigyan ng malaking puntos ay kung paano makakatulong ang UPLB sa mga graduating students, sa mga graduates na gustong magnegosyo. Kasi as of now, ang isang negosyante na graduate ng UPLB, bago makaisip ng negosyo, ay nagtatrabaho muna doon sa kumpanya. And after 10 years, saka lang nila maisip na i-duplicate nila, they will resign and they'll put up their own group. So bakit hindi natin i-encourage ngayon ang ating mga estudyante na pagkatapos ay maging isa lang entrepreneur, hindi yung magtatrabaho. So yun ang rason kung bakit atin dapat ipakita na dito sa UPLB ay napakaraming produkto ang pwedeng pag-umpisahan kahit sa maliit lang ang kapital, no? And ako'y nagulat, no? Almost every week ako'y narito sa UPLB. Ngayon ko na nalaman na napakaraming produkto pala ang food processing na pwedeng i-negosyo ng isang estudyante na bagong graduate o ng isang alumni na bago lang nag-uumpisa sa maliit lang kapital, no? So, ikalawa, sa ating yung gumagawa ng microbial sa biotech, ngayon din lang namin nalaman na napakarami nyo na palang produkto na nagawa na wala namang nagninegosyo. So, kung kayo ay pupunta o dadako tayo sa mga malaking plantasyon tulad ng pineapple at saka bananas sa Davao, napakaraming problema nila. Nakasagutan pala ay darito sa atin. So, sa halip kami ay nag-i-import pa ng mga produkto galing sa iba't ibang bansa. Tapos dinadala dito at ating i-apply. Pero hindi alam ng mga plantasyon na meron palang produkto ang UPLB na pwede makasagot sa kanilang problema. Katlo, yung sa engineering, napakaraming pala nating mga nagawa na all the way I thought na ang pinag-iigilahan ng SEAT o ng Department of Engineering ay traktora. Kasi yung lang nakikita natin na lagi naka-display sa inyong departamento, no? So, ngayon, nagulat ako na marami pala kayong mga produkto na nagawa na pwede natin i-introduce sa ating mga farmers o sa mga maliit na entrepreneur. No? Sa ngayon, ang nangyayari sa plantasyon, nag-i-import sila ng murang equipment sa China. Tapos, kanila na lamang kinokopya. So, ngayon, tayo pala ay kaya na makagawa ng gano'n. So, it's time na siguro ay ating ibenta yung ating mga technology na naiipon at na-aproba na. So, nakikita ko rito na pagkatapos ng ating webinar na ito ay kinakailangan meron tayong second set ulit. At sa nakikita ko ay ang unang-una na dapat natin isama ay College of Engineering, food processing, sa biotech, at saka sa DNR, sa Cfnr. So going back to Cfnr, isa tatlong speaker for today, nakikita ko ngayon na ang tree farming pala ay may pera. Pero although ang akala ko yung mga nag-i-involve lang sa plywood, yung nagagawa ng posporo, ay sila lamang kumikita ng malaki, no? I was surprised, no? Meron akong 350 puno ng mahogany na which I planted 24 years ago. And now somebody is offering 1.5 million for 320 puno. So, tayo pala ay magtatanim ng malaking mahogany, ay may pera doon, no? At meron nag-recommend sa akin na instead of planting mahogany, ay
Si
half of the year ay pareho lang ang presyo. So yun ang isang pwede natin ma-recommend sa ating mga farmer. No? So sa susunod, napag-usapan namin ni Doc Resty na ngayon lang natin nabuksan at ngayon lamang nalaman ng ating mga alumni na meron pala tayong mga itong tinatago dito sa ating kolehiyo. Na hindi natin alam. Ako nga, una, nabanggit ko. All the way, I thought the College of Engineering, pag-iigil lamang pag-evaluate ang traktora kasi yun lang lagi nakikita eh. So, siguro, a month from now, we have to do the second series of webinar. No? Ibenta natin ang ating mga technology na naiipon, hindi lamang for publicity na nasa ating library, kundi bagkos ay ating i-disseminate sa mga alumni na mayroong negosyo na o mayroon ng kapital na pwede nila pag-umpisahan. So, yun po lamang ako ay nagpapasalamat. Napakaganda ang ating webinar from day 1 hanggang sa ngayon. So, lahat po natin mga speaker ay prepared at nakakatuwa na ma-disseminate natin na tayo ay maraming nakabinbin dito sa kolehiyo na pwede nating ibigay sa ating mga alumni na gustong magnegosyo. So muli, ako ay nagpapasalamat kay Dr. Rex Navarro, kay Shell Abito, kay Dr. Resty, at naumpisa natin itong webinar na ito. This is an eye-opener sa lahat ng mga alumni, sa lahat ng mga negosyante. At sa paniniwala ko po, ay higit natin dapat tulungan ay mga bagong graduate na huwag na silang mag-employ. Dapat ay mabuksan ang kanilang isip na kahit sa maliit na punan ay pwede silang lumago. So yun po lang. Maraming salamat.
Okay, thank you, Captain Manny, for your parting message for our webinar today. And for our participants, you can check the evaluation link at the chat and comment section. So you need to accomplish that form so you can receive your e-certificate for attending this event. So again, we are inviting everyone to join us tomorrow, Saturday, starting 9 a.m. for the culminating event of the UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit. So don't miss it. Details of the event are actually posted in the official Facebook page of UPLB Office of Alumni Relations and the official Facebook page of UPLB. So thank you to our panelists for this morning. We have Dr. Brown, Dean Mendoza, and Dean Amongo. A special shout out to our organizers for this webinar series, as well as our participants for your active participation. So pwede na pong magtanghalian. It's 12:29. This is RJ Galang signing off. See you in the UPLB-Alumni-Industry Summit. Maraming salamat po. Padayon, UPLB, mananatiling para at para sa bayan. Salamat po.